What is going on, guys? How are y'all doing today? We got a lot of people hanging out already. What is going on, everybody on YouTube already? Let me get the chat popped up on the screen quick so you guys can also read that. Let's see. Let's read a couple people who are hanging out already. Don, what's going on? Being the second one in the stream. Brooks, though, taking it away as the first chatter today. What's going on, Brooks? Hoping for a new Venom maybe next month. Curious on your thoughts on the new Supra. Yeah, we're definitely going to get into the Supra a little bit. We're going to get into all the new bowling balls because the title of this stream is, are the new bowling balls really worth it? Do they seem like the right pull right now? Is it a good time to grab? We're going to find out. But we are going to get into that in just a second. James, what is going on? Mark, how you doing, man? Yofo, you're ready, and you got here early too, Yofo. Love to see it. Princess Trunks, how you doing? James, just got my ZVL shirts. For sure gonna rep them on my Monday league. Hey, thank you for buying the shirts, James. Really appreciate it. I actually have on, I just got my new ZVL bowling crew neck. This thing's super soft. I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. Shout out Bowler Store. I have links in all my descriptions if you want to buy a ZVL shirt, hoodie, or a crew neck. They're also on the TikTok shop, which I got to go live on TikTok quick. Let's hit that go live button over there. There we go. All right, we are also live on the TikToks. Let me move that over. There we go. All right. Let's see what else is all going on here. James D, what's up? Brooks, let's get it. Joe is hanging out already. If you join the chat on ZVL live streams, raises your average by 13 pins. He is right. He's not wrong on that. It is exactly 13 pins no matter where you're at. It's a really weird number. I don't know why I don't make the rules, but it is 13 extra pins if you hang out for the live streams. Crazy. Bracken, how you doing? Oma, what's going on Twitch? I have a new blue given me for free last night. That's not bad. That's not bad. Don, what's going on Twitch? Not a bot. Nope. Dono bot is not a bot, which is still awesome to me that you have that name on there. Mark, your content is the best. Thank you so much, Mark. Really appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun stuff lately. It's been a lot of fun stuff in the last couple of weeks. Gandhi, good morning to you, being bright and early over where you're at. Yofo, love the Copper Drop series, always looking out for a deal. Yeah, I'm so happy that you guys really like the Copper Drop series. It's something I never thought of all that much. Like, I love looking at bowling ball deals, but I've never gone into detail of like which ones are out there. Like in my own head, I'll go through them because I buy my own equipment. I was about to say I don't buy my own equipment. I buy my own equipment, so like I'm always looking for a deal too. Like I'm not buying every ball brand new as pricey as it can get. I always look for a deal on things. I am notorious for buying used bowling balls, for buying closeout bowling balls, things like that. That's why I have like my WebMB I got for dirt cheap, brand new, because nobody really liked that ball, which is kind of disappointing. It's a good ball at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm really glad you guys like the Copper Drop series. We'll be having it once per month is going to be my goal. There's going to be a lot of deals that stay the same because there's a lot of bowling balls out there that just, even when they're on sale, don't sell. Hazmat Solid, for example, like that ball's like $90 right now. It's still really easy to find one for $90. It's kind of crazy. And that ball was pretty good too at the end of the day. So yeah, we will have that going a lot. James Hicks, what's going on? Tiger Tolliver, what's up, man? Always great to have videos and info. Hey, thank you, Tiger. Appreciate that. Princess just picked up the Attention Power overseas ball. That ball is weirdly popping off, and I don't know why. Everybody seems to be getting that Attention Power. I don't know why that ball specifically, but I've seen so many people in the US buying that ball for the price point, just because it is really good. It is a fantastic ball, it looks like, but it's just interesting. That's that ball specifically. Let's see, who do we got all hanging out here? Buff Wolf, what's going on? What is up? Good to see you again. Gabriel, what's going on? And Britt, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Let's see. James 3, what's going on? Mark, man, I gotta eat. I don't want to eat just to miss this content. Nah, you're fine. Don't worry. We're here for the next like hour and a half. Don't worry. Do not worry. Let's see. I think we hit everybody on the hello messages there. I think we are. All right. We can get into the content then. So Today, we are going to be doing our usual Q&A, just hanging out with you guys, answering any bowling ball questions that you guys have. It can be bowling ball related, it can be bowling related, it can be form, it can be random news that's going on, whole ton of things that we can talk about here. But the main topic that we'll hit on a couple times throughout this is, are the new bowling balls worth it? So I've had all my reviews except for the High Road 40 review go out on my small form social media content, so TikTok and Instagram and sometimes YouTube Shorts. And I'm not the most positive in almost any of them so far. I'm not really like glazing a single ball or anything. So I want to talk about, like, are these new balls really ones that are quote unquote must buys? I mean, every staffer I've seen right now really is pushing this is a must buy ball, as they do. They do it with every ball. But are these really worth it, or are these ones that you can actually skip? Britt, thank you so much for the 10 roses over on TikTok. Really appreciate it. Or the TikTok symbol and the roses. Thank you so much. So we're going to talk about all of that. Remember, we are live on a ton of different platforms. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. We're live on TikTok. So if you don't like the content that you're watching on the format it is, you can go check out a different platform. But we're live on everything right now. Let's see. I think we're pretty much good to go. Yeah, I'm not seeing any problems. So I think we're set. And Britt, thank you for the finger hearts too. Really appreciate it over on TikTok. So we're going to start by getting into a couple questions you guys have for us right off of the bat. We are going to start with, who do we have? Tokyo. If I already have both origins, is it worth to check out the Ion Pro Solid? Yes, those balls are going to be pretty different. So the Ion Pro Solid is going to be a step or two below the Origin EX. So that would actually give you a decent 1-2-3 combo. It is a lot of ASIMs, which is, you always want a couple ASIMs, couple SIMs. You don't need all one or all the other, but it would be a good combo at the end of the day. It would be a pretty decent combo. Let's see. Chucky, I feel like everybody should wait for Expo before we buy anything. Thoughts? Yes. I don't know what the next releases are going to be. We just saw Motive's release that's coming soon. I don't know what's getting announced around Bowler Expo. So if I'm looking at a calendar, so we have the Ion Pro Solid and the High Road 40 getting released Friday. And then in July, like 7th through the 12th or something, is Bowl Expo out in Washington, D.C. I very much assume that July 4th week, we're going to get announcements for a bunch of bowling balls. We're probably going to get a couple announcements for brand new pieces, and they're going to be more like unique and more, not, I don't want to say revolutionary, that's a little too big, but like more bigger releases than what we've seen in the last month or so. June is always the lowest month for bowling ball sales, so companies don't really release much around that time. Gabriel, thank you for the 20 roses on TikTok too. Appreciate it. So yes, I really recommend waiting just a little bit before buying these and checking out what comes out at Bowl Expo. That's a really good point, Chucky. Too tall, what's going on? What size is your ZVL hoodie? Want to get one with enough sleeve length? Yes, so I'm about 6'5", 6'6", and I got an XL, and it fits perfectly, as perfect as it can be. Fits just like a Nike hoodie that I would buy. So yeah, I would recommend XL for me. I don't have the longest arms. Like, my wingspan is like 6'3"-ish, 6'4". It's a little bit shorter than my actual height. So hopefully that helps too. Hopefully that helps a little bit. And C-Lance, what's going on over on Twitch? How you doing? All right, let's see what's going on here. Gabriel, can't wait to drink an energy drink at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Oh, I already have mine open. Yeah, my Ghost Bubblicious Cotton Candy arrived, so had to pop it open. Is it smart to have caffeine at 6:10 p.m.? No, it's not. But I got like 4 hours of sleep last night, so why not get another 4 tonight? Cheers. Oh, bad choices are being made. Jebsy, going to bowl on 2025 Shark. What's good for transition after the hyperdrive? I would recommend something bigger and a little shinier, like an Origin or an Equinox could be a really good play after the hyperdrive starts leaving too many corner pins. And Buffalo, so instead of the Ion Max, my Pro Shop guy recommended the RST Hyperdrive. Yeah, it's actually a very good ball. They're pretty similar at the end of the day. The Hyperdrive hooks a little bit later and is a pretty similar downlane reaction, so it's potato. They're both really good. They're two of the better ASIMs on the market today. James D, I dug myself into a hole for Summer League. I shot 714, 720, and 672, and your average is 234. Ooh, hey, just keep that going throughout the year. Might as well. It'd be rude not to, really. Jordan B, tinfoil hat. The highest scores in my league are all motive guys, and the shop sells exclusively motive. Anything to it or just conspiracy? It's probably just volume, Jordan. It's probably just volume at the end of the day. If your pro shop specifically sells it, that means all the house bowlers in that center throw motive because that's where they buy their bowling balls. And because they know the lanes, they know that building really well, they're going to do well. So it's kind of like, it's not because it's motive. I mean, part of it could be, it might be matching up really well to their games and things, but it's probably because of just pure volume. There's probably a lot of motive stuff being thrown in that building. So if you have 30 people throwing one brand and 2 people throwing another, I would put my bet that the 30 people, there'd be a couple of them that rise to the top. So that would be my guess. And Britt, absolutely here to have to help support. Hey, thank you, Britt. Appreciate it. If you guys didn't check it out, I was on a podcast this last Saturday. So if you want to check that out, it's called the Learning Curve Podcast. It's a fantastic podcast by a great group of people. So you can find that over on YouTube or over on TikTok. So Britt, who's in the TikTok chat, you can check her profile out. Let us keep on trucking. Gabriel, when is the first energy drink review? I've recorded about 5 different videos. I do have a new channel coming soon. I'll have an official announcement probably in the next like 4 or 5 days, but it is going to be an energy drink review, energy drink specific or caffeine specific TikTok channel. Should be a lot of fun. More of a fun channel than like trying to be the biggest TikToker on that one. Like that one's just going to be more entertainment because I like caffeine a little too much. Corey, what's going on? Good afternoon. Princess, I got it for a deal. I couldn't refuse. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Don, new balls. If you ain't drilling, you ain't trying. That is such a PBA thing to say. I love it. Matthew Novak, best storm fragrance, anything with blueberry. Blueberry donut, blueberry. There was a blueberry muffin. Any of those are my top tier storm fragrances by a landslide. Lance, for me, the main thing that matters is the cover is fresh. Doesn't matter if the ball is 10 years old. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, there's always remember that older bowling balls, like, they can still look good at times in situations, but the cover stock of those is always slowly wearing out because once air gets onto a cover stock, it slowly starts slowing it down, slowly starts wearing down that cover stock, even if you're not throwing it. So unless your ball's in a completely airtight container, that cover stock will slowly start to disintegrate. So something to keep in mind with a lot of those older bowling balls. I actually just saw a TikTok of somebody right before this who said like, yeah, I don't buy new bowling balls. I just try to master the ones I have, which has some merit to it, of course, especially if you can't buy a ball or things like that. But it is good to get new bowling balls every 1 to 2 years just to make sure that cover stock isn't completely bad and is dropping your average because you can't out bowl bad ball reaction. It's one of the hardest things with our sport is like, even if you are, you know, Andrew Anderson, PBA Tour finalist, if you give him a ball from 2002 that's completely pukey, he's not going to do well, even though he is one of the best in the world. So yeah, that's always a good thing to keep in mind. Like there is a happy medium in there. You don't need every bowling ball that comes out, but you also can't go 20, 30, 40 years without buying one because that just limits your skill. And like, yeah, you can still probably average 200, but you probably could average 215 with something that's actually new. Something good to keep in mind. Lance, we hit Justin Sage. Tips for bowling on Albi. You have an Ion Max, Rockstar, Vibo, Purple Slammer, Phase 3. I do not know what the Albi pattern is. Bowling pattern. There's a 2019 version that I'm seeing. There's a 2020 version. This is the dumb thing with the names. There's a 2025 version. For some reason, Big Ben showed up when I looked this up. So I'm seeing 39 feet flat. You might want to, urethane might be a little tougher. You're going to want some bigger equipment. I think that Hyperdrive or that Ion Max is going to be pretty good for you to start, Justin. Otherwise, that Rockstar. The Phase 3 might not be used very much there. Hey, Smitty, first time watching on Twitch. Hey, thanks, Smitty. Thanks for hopping on over on Twitch. Really appreciate that. Nub, what's going on over on Twitch? How you doing, man? Hope you're playing, hope you were able to snag a Switch 2. Yofo, I didn't know how fast balls go on sale. I'm never going to buy new release balls. I'd rather buy a ball that was a GOAT for 6 months prior. That's one of the tough things is it's kind of a gamble with a lot of that because if you wait and a bowling ball gets discontinued, let's say what was a good one recently? And NV2 is a bad example. What What was a good ball that was discontinued? Vivo, Virtual Energy Blackout, for example. That ball was discontinued like 5-ish months ago. That one you couldn't find. It never went on sale, so you're never going to get that GOAT ball. Like, if the Phase 2 ever got discontinued, you would never see that price below what it is today, ever. It would be very hard to find. But you're going to find those mediocre bowling balls or the sleeper bowling balls that you can actually buy. So that's something good to keep in mind. Something always good to keep in mind. Let's see, Buff Wolf. I was kind of thinking the same thing because I mainly bowl on house. I don't think I need a strong ball. You really don't if you bowl on house. Usually strong smooth is one of the lesser used bowling balls on house for most people. Edward, I just got a Venom Shock. What layout is better, 60 by 5 by 30 or 65 5 35? Honestly, Edward, you're not going to notice much of a difference between the two. I just go 60 by 5 by 30 and try that out. The 5 degrees really isn't going to do a whole lot. And Buff, do you have a good spare ball recommendation? Yes. T-dot or white dot? T-zone or white dot. There we go. If you want to get something a little different that might be just slightly more durable and isn't plastic, go with a Storm Mix or a Hammer Axe. Those are going to be your best options. Do not buy that Silver Sniper. That motive just discontinued. It's a $200 spare ball is not worth it unless you're going for looks. If you want to go for looks, then sure, pay whatever you want for it. But I would recommend those. I don't really recommend Visiballs. They usually crack pretty easily and they're hard to plug. So any of those bowling balls that I mentioned, T-zone, white dot, mix, those are going to be your best bets. An Axe if you really want to. That one's a little more expensive, but really not much. Kirk, new here. Appreciate the YouTube content. Hey, thank you, Kirk. Appreciate it. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. Zaddy, what's going on? How good is the Hammerhead? Hammerhead is a really good ball. It is one of the better Brunswick brand, just benchmark, middle of the road, smooth bowling balls. So it's one of the better options there. I wouldn't really, I mean, it's around where like the Phase 2 is and the Venom Shock. So I'd pick any of those and you'll be good to go. You're not really going to go wrong with any of them. Wyatt Mac, what's up? Hey, my bad. I did your Arsenal Google form because I didn't think you saw my email. Turns out you responded almost a month ago to my email. No, all good, Wyatt, all good. I have to say, by the way, I checked like 3 days ago. There were 90 Google Forms responses for Arsenals. I did not expect that many. I'm glad you guys like the Google form portion to do Arsenal reviews, so I'm glad you enjoy them. So there's a lot to get through right now, though, so I'm going to be pumping out Arsenal reviews sometime soon. James, 2 weeks into my first Sports Shot League. Week 1 on Badger, you shot 381. It was bad. Then this week on Chameleon, a 645. Hey, there you go. It's going to be a wild ride. The good thing with Sports Shot Leagues is you find out what length of pattern you're good on and what length of pattern you're not good on. So Badger is like 50 feet long. So you know you got to put some work in on longer patterns. But Chameleon's a little bit shorter. So you know short patterns you're doing pretty good on. You're doing pretty good, which is awesome to see. Corey, is the Physics Blackout and Origin different enough to have both? It depends how big your bag is. If you only have 6 bowling balls, not really. If you have 8, 9, 10, then yes. Then I think it's okay to have both. Then you shouldn't really see a problem. I'm going to go over there quick. There we go. All right, let's see. Gabe, do you think the PBA season is too short, too long, or just right? Ooh. That's a good question. I think 5 months is really good length for the PBA season. I think that's a great amount of time because you can make a season too long. I think like baseball season, for example, way too long, way too much time. I wish there was more of a preseason for PBA content. I wish there was something to do before that first tour event, some kind of preseason events, like more amateur-ish events that they could like live stream or something. I think would be pretty cool to kind of like build into the season. Every year, I feel like the PBA season just kind of jumps out at you right after the new year. It's like, hey, you went through Christmas, went through the new year, and then boom, you're already halfway through a PBA event. It's like, that's a little too quick. So I wish they'd like showcase Team USA trials as like a preseason event where they ask the PBA guys to go and bowl it. But I know that can be tough, especially with so many international guys. So I think it's actually a pretty decent length. I know the year-long tour is a lot better for a lot of people, but it's kind of tough for a pro athlete to do that. Now, granted, I know our pro athletes don't get paid enough really for like a really good lifestyle. So it's, I don't know, pros and cons. I like the length that the season is right now. Maybe like 5 months would be prime. Yamaguchi. I'll have my Origin EX for 3 weeks now and still don't know when to throw it. Sometimes it's clean and gets through the fronts, and other times it's a hook monster. I'd recommend changing the surface on it, Yamaguchi. Try changing it either to be super dull or super shiny. That might help you out a little bit in knowing what it's going to do. Is my Twitch, like, did it just break? No, my Twitch is still here. We're good. We're good. There we go. All right. Let's see. Tor from Norway. Got myself a purple hammer and an ebonite the one. Hey, that's awesome. Congrats, man. That's really cool to hear. Really cool to see. Don, I have a Black Widow Mania. Should I get the 3.0? If you want something that's similar to the Mania, but just smoother and used for more oil, then absolutely. But if you need something weaker, I wouldn't go with it. I would go with like a Scorpion Strike then. Mark, I have an Arctic Vibe as my first ball. Ball speed is about 9 miles an hour. Works great, but I feel like it's a bit too strong. Yeah, if your ball speed is around 9, then absolutely, it's probably going to be too strong. You're going to have to go down to like a raw hammer, like a Pearl raw hammer would be the next ball down from that. Otherwise, try to work on boosting that ball speed just a little bit. Yofo, would a urethane on house shot lower my average? Probably. I never recommend urethane on house shots. Like, you can throw it, it's perfectly okay, but generally your ceiling is not that high with urethane. Usually shooting a 250 game with urethane is a lot harder than shooting a 250 game with reactive, especially on house shots. Because the thing is, urethane wants to hook early. A house shot, you don't want the ball to hook that early. You need it to hook a little bit later because there generally isn't much volume. So you can try it. I know I tried it a few times back when I was like first kind of starting with my new urethanes, and it never looked good. I think I shot like 610 pretty much every set that I tried it with. So it's an option, not the best option, but you can try it to kind of prove it. That's a good thing with bowling is you get so many opportunities to just guess and test. Try it out. Ah, it didn't work. Remember that for next time. Gandhi, I wish I could have seen your reaction after you threw the torpedo. It looked like it was going to hook and instead went straight in and smashed the 910. I was so in that I'm so upset that my audio didn't save on that because I threw the IQ 78 and I was like, yeah, this ball's gonna hook a little more. It's fresh out of box, and it did. It 4-pin, picked up the 4-pin. I threw the direct hit and I struck actually on my first shot. I went just 10 back. It was a really good shot, but I pulled it a bunch. I kept it super tight to the pocket, and I was on a really short pattern. I was like, oh, that's weird. That should have overhooked and gone Brooklyn, but whatever. I was like, all right, we're going to move like 2 right and then try to get it out a little bit more. And then and off my hand, I think I said, I threw that kind of good. And then the ball just never hooks, and my mouth just got huge. It was wild. That direct hit is so bad. It was insane. It was bad for what I thought it would be. Like, it's probably not a bad ball. It's not a bad ball for some people, but it's just bad marketing. Really bad marketing on Radical's part. They were trying to just snag a couple extra ball sales off it, which is meh. Very meh. Janet, I have the Phase 2 IQ Solid and IQ Ruby. I was looking at IQ Tour AI. The IQ Tour AI will be a little bit too similar to the IQ Ruby, in my opinion. I'd go a little bit stronger with like a Phase AI or a Zen 25. Might be a little better. James, have you tried the coconut cream Dr. Pepper? No, I have not. I have not tried that quite yet, and I don't think I will be. I need to remember it, but I don't have the stuff for it quite yet. I don't have the ingredients to make that because I think that. Or wait, no, was that one? No, that was one that somebody recommended. Was like that coconut one. Yeah, I have not. That one sounded so bad. All right, let's see. Edward, what is a good layout for a hammerhead for a two-hander? My brother can't decide what's a good layout. Go like 5-inch pin, like a 4-inch PSA to PAP. That number doesn't matter for a hammerhead, and go like a 3.5-inch pin to center of grip if you're doing 2LS. I think that'll be it. So it's like 5 by 4 by 3.5. That would be my rec. Just a general versatile layout. Joe, what's going on? And Buff Wolf, do you think the Storm Ice is a good spare ball? Yeah, it is. It's a little pricier. It's a couple bucks more than most other plastic balls, but I had one solely because I like the look of the old ices. I don't like the new ice color that much, but the old ones were awesome. So really doesn't, yeah, either way. Either way. Let's see. Matthew, do you think the Typhoon, Hustle, and Blackout are close enough that I wouldn't need more than one? Yes, you only need one of those. You only need one of those 3 balls. They're a little too close. Tiger, is the hyperdrive versatile on medium to oily? Yes, absolutely. It is asymmetrical, and does it take the place of the gem? Kind of. Yeah, it kind of takes the place of the gem. It's a little weaker, little sharper than the gem, but pretty close. Pretty close at the end of the day. This is a fun question. Talon, you should do a video series dedicated to Sean Rash and his ongoing free agency. I would be making a video every 3 days. He bought swag bowling balls now. I don't know, because I know Motive doesn't want to sign him per se. Like I think he went to them right after the global deal ended and they didn't want him. And if you're a free agent, you can buy whatever you want, and he probably can get bowling balls for cheaper, but they're probably not going to put him on staff. So it's weird that he bought swag stuff, because you can't throw swag on the PBA tour unless swag wants to recertify as a PBA sponsor. But then they'd actually have to sign people, and last time that did not go well for them. They lost their staffer within about 3 months. It was one of the Lavery Spar brothers, and the swag stuff was not good. It was really, really bad, and they admitted that. So we'll see. We will see, but I bet he stays free agent. He's out of options. Bowling, there aren't enough companies to be able to sign with, so I don't think Rash will be signing with anyone anytime soon. Nub, I did get a Switch too. Currently shiny hunting Arceus and BDSP. Oh, ow, that is brutal. Finally got shiny Shaman, and you got it. Hey, that's what happens when you join our streams, Nub. Then we're good to go. Easy shiny like that. Love it. Emerald, I currently have a 3.0, a Rockstar, and a Zen. I like it. Nice. That looks pretty good. Looking to add my arsenal. Thinking urethane or strong sharp. I would honestly go strong sharp. Go with like a Black Widow Mania or an Equinox. I think will fit well. Yofo, I keep my undrilled balls in the box wrapped in the plastic. I think that's usually pretty good, Yofo, if you have the plastic on it. So you should be fine with that. An amazing Robin. First phase 2, then phase 2. Phase 2. What's going on, Robin? Yeah, phase 2. Oh, I didn't post on TikTok before this. No. Dang it. I can do that yet. Hold on. Pause. I know we're live, but we can also post. I had a video of myself throwing the goat ball. All right, let's post that. And we are posted. Beautiful. All right, there we go. Hey, Steve, thank you for the $5 super chat. Welcome. Thanks for the rec. I picked up a cipher. Any tips for 2025 Shark? Two-handed righty. Shark, you can sometimes play up the gutter. Try up the gutter with something bigger and stronger. If that doesn't work, you're gonna have to play a tighter line to the pocket. You're gonna have to move further left and just play like a 10-ish, 9 to 10 break point, and that'll be your best play. Let's see. Tor. Yeah, we hit Gabriel. What's your opinion on the Florida Panthers winning the Stanley Cup? I'm gonna be honest. I am one of the few people in Minnesota who knows nothing about hockey. I grew up in only basketball areas, so cool. I'm not good with hockey. Bowling Milk, Dark Side time. Yeah, I actually drilled up the dark side that I got from the mystery balls last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was. So I drilled up the dark side. I went 4.5 by 35, I believe. So I went a little longer pin than my Scorpion, but I put a little quicker of a val on it, and the thing doesn't flare much. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to throw it on anything that great. It was a burnt up sport shot of some kind. It seemed a little bit longer, and it was torched. But the ball made a very good basic motion for a lower end piece. It really is, it's smoother than I thought it would be. Being a Brunswick ball with HK22, I believe that ball is HK22 on it, but it was it might not. Actually, that one might not, but it was very smooth for being a shiny, weak hybrid. So it was cool to see. I'm excited. I want to throw it on a house shot on Friday. I'm hoping they actually have fresh oil out. They usually do on Fridays. So I'm really excited to try it on that to see what it really is. But overall, it looks pretty decent so far. Is that like lower end ball in your bag, but it isn't too sharp. So that's a problem with a lot of low end stuff. It gets too angular. It's a little too angular. Why was the sniper so expensive? Dude, I wish I knew, in all honesty. I have no idea why that ball was so expensive. Like, my jaw dropped when I saw the price point for that when it came out in September. Like, usually I don't cover spare balls, I don't cover plastic stuff or anything like that, but I know Motive liked their sniper series to be a little pricier because they say it's more durable and they make it in the US, which is way pricier. That's why you're going to see all plastic and entry level equipment made in different countries, because it's impossible to get to that super low price point when making it in the US. And Motive made those in the US, and then that they had to keep the price high because of that. And then they also did because it was supposed to be more durable. And they were usually at the end of the day. Snipers usually didn't crack very much, but it's a lot of money. You can buy like, I think you can buy almost 4 T-zones for every 1 sniper. So if you're okay with getting things re-drilled, you could buy 3 T-zones for the price of 1 sniper. It's insane after drilling. Russell, I bought an old tire clear spare ball and love it. Yeah, no, you can buy spare balls used too. That's a-okay. You can, they're okay to plug. I plugged my old ice like 3 times, 4 times. It was a lot of times. I plugged that a lot of times. Let's see, Edward, I don't know storm layouts. I only know degrees, so I kind of got lost. Since you said he was a 2-hander, Edward, I gave you storm 2 LS layout. Dual angle, you'd go like 40 by 5 by 30, maybe 35. No, 40. Yeah, 5 by 40 or 40 by 5 by 40. And Jordan Griffin, what's going on? I bet Swag will if Rash joins. It's $150,000. I don't know if Swag or Bowlersmart has that kind of money right now. They haven't released a ball in a long time, so that makes it a little tougher. And a lot of their staffers are saying they're going to be releasing a new ball soon, but there was never dates given. So I know I've had a couple people reach out to me saying there's new stuff coming soon from Swag. I just haven't really heard what it is. So we will see. And Wyatt, same with you. Why hasn't Swag released a ball? I feel like I haven't heard about Swag in forever. So one of the big reasons is Swag equipment is poured in South Korea, and South Korea got hit with some tariffs pretty hard. So Swag really paused on a lot of their stuff until that all got sorted out. Bowling really took a pause once tariffs hit because everything jumped in price, and bowling already has a razor thin profit margin, especially bowling ball companies. So Swag trying to get off the ground again, that really hurt them quite a bit. So they had to really pause what they were doing, is the reasons that I've heard. Now, that isn't from the horse's mouth. That isn't from Swag themselves, but no company has really commented on that. So that is my assumption and what others have assumed also. And they might not have done as well as they were hoping to on the release with Bowlersmart. So I don't know what the sales numbers really look like, if they really popped off or not. Not really positive. Let's see. Jaybird, what's going on, man? How you doing? Brooks got a ghost jackal at the pro shop that's closed up in Lake Tahoe. Wasn't in plastic, was in a display case. Should I pick that up or bad buy? It depends how old it is. I mean, ghosts are still being made, so it could be like 3 months old. And honestly, you really only run into that after like 2 to 3 years. Like it's even 3 years, I think. That's when you start noticing the decline a little bit. Like I have a Halo Pearl in my closet right now that I should drill soon. It got poured in 2020, so it's 5 years old at this point. I already know it's not going to be as good as it was back in 2020 because the cover stock is slowly disintegrating or slowly getting worse. George, how is your direct drilled, meaning pin? So my direct hit was drilled 35 by 4 by 35, I believe. It was quick. I wanted it to hook, but the problem is I drilled it very strong, and the core and cover mismatch is just extreme. So the ball, like the core wants to hook, and you can watch the core hook, and then the ball just goes straight because the cover stock is plastic, basically. So it's not good. Drill it super weak if you get a direct hit. Drill it insanely weak. Long pin, very weak VAL angle. That's your only chance to make that ball good, in my opinion. Too tall. Should I get a high road 40, scorpion strike, or something else? Sharp ball that I can move left with, but turns the corner better than your blackout. The high road 40 is going to be a lot sharper. It's going to be weaker though. The scorpion strike can handle oil better, but it's not as angular. If you want the most angle, go with the high road 40. If you want something for oil, go with the strike. All right, Princess, I love my direct hit. And Mark, are the new balls worth it? TLDR, Mark. Not especially. Let's talk about the new bowling balls quick. So we had a lot of Brunswick bowling balls get announced. We had the Power Hitter, we had the Paragon, we had the No Doubt Solid, we had the stupid Super CUDA Power Core, Super Power Core Pearl thingy, which is just a remake of an old Power Core Pearl. There was something else in there that I'm already forgetting. Storm, we have the Ion Pro Solid, and we have the High Road 40. Motive, we now have the Supra Clutch. Are these new bowling balls truly worth it right now? I don't think many of them are. This is the most negative I've been towards new bowling ball releases in a while. The Supra, I haven't seen enough of. I know every Motive staffer on the planet is saying this ball is really, really good and it's the best ball ever, but only Motive staffers have really had it, or people that get the balls early. It looks good. It's a weaker bowling ball that's not very angular at the end of the day. Motive says it's the most angular ball in the market. Motive balls aren't that angular at the end of the day. They aren't going to be skid snappy. So I see that as just like basically a smoother High Road 40, or kind of like the Ultimate Wrecker, in all honesty, is pretty much the comparison. The problem is it's $175. So it's a very expensive, weaker bowling ball. Ion Pro Solid, the big thing is the price. It's $200 for a weaker ball. $200 is insane for a ball that isn't that crazy. And a lot of Storm staffers are saying this is a very good ball, and it probably is. And it honestly does look like it is. It looks like it's a very good piece. The Ion Pro is also a very good piece, but if you want to save money, that's going to be $270 once you leave the pro shop for a ball that's a little weaker. And unless you're a tournament guy, you can get around it by buying something of similar power that's $50 cheaper. Now, what I'm saying is that is not going to be well liked by a lot of bowling ball companies or staffers, things like that. Apologies in advance. But I just don't think this is the strongest release cycle. The Brunswick ones, the Paragon Shadow is the only one that's like really worth it. I think the Paragon Shadow is actually a good buy. It's cheaper than the Ion Pro Solid, but it can be just a very versatile asymmetrical bowling ball. So if you're looking for a new ASIM right now, like a big, strong ASIM, that Paragon Shadow is a good option that you shouldn't overlook. The rest of them, Ethos Solid, I think you could do pretty decent with. They're trying to push that one pretty hard. I think the Hammerhead's still a little better, and I still have yet to see a comparison between the Hammerhead and the Ethos. I hate that. I can't recommend an Ethos Solid because I haven't seen any comparisons of what it is compared to things that are good, like the Hammer or the Hammerhead or the Stealth Mode. So I would love to see that. But unfortunately, I haven't really seen that. So I'll always be recommending Hammerhead, GB5, and Stealth Mode for that. The rest of them, like Power Hitter, Radical just is on a not good cycle right now, unfortunately. Sorry, Phil and all the Radical guys. This Power Hitter doesn't really hit a good spot, and the No Doubt Solid is literally just the No Doubt. So buy a No Doubt instead if you want that. It's a little cheaper right now too, and the price is going to keep dropping. I assume the original No Doubt is getting discontinued within the next like 2 months. We haven't seen a lot of Brunswick discontinued balls lately. Expect that very soon. So that is the quick spiel of, are the new bowling balls worth it? You can probably tell in some of my reviews, I'm not the most positive on them because they just wait a little bit to buy a new ball. Wait until League gets closer. Wait until right before League, because we're going to see new releases. We're going to see a couple more sales coming through. The Theorem Pearl is going to be on super sale very soon. A lot of the other balls that just got discontinued are going to be on super sale very soon. So be ready for that. So let's get back into some comments. This is while I have a quick little pause here on the comments, or on reading a bunch of them. Make sure to drop a subscription or a follow or like the stream if you haven't. It helps me out a ton. TikTok, you just have to double click your screen. You can like it an infinite amount of times. We're at about 2,000 right now. So here's thank you everybody over there. But if you're new here, or if you're not following, make sure to check out if you are. Sometimes YouTube and TikTok unfollows for some weird reason. Make sure to drop a sub or a follow. It helps me out an absolute ton. It's the best way to support the channel. Otherwise, we are live on 3 different platforms, on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. We also have a Discord that's a ton of fun. We're at over 500 members of a lot of really fun and positive bowlers. So if you want to go check that out, that's in all of our descriptions. And then finally, we have merch. I got to remember that I got to keep talking about the merch because I don't mention it an insane amount. But we do have ZVL Bowling merch over on bowlerstore.com, otherwise out on the TikTok shop for Bowler Store. But let's get back into all of these lovely comments. We have so many. Let me see. Was there anything there that I mixed or missed for convos? Craig Smith, I hear that new balls have a break-in period. They really don't. There's a couple select few that like start out super strong, but then get weaker. Phase 2 is a great example. The Phase 2 is insanely strong right out of box, and then it slowly kind of peters into what the Phase 2 is. So be aware of that. Be aware of that as you're grabbing stuff. Enoch, I was hoping the Ion Pro Solid would be an ASIM side grade to the Phase 2, but no, it's definitely a lot weaker. It's just a weak ASIM, very weak and sharp ASIM. Don, isn't No Doubt a band from the 90s? See, they're on sale too, so double whammy. And James, I had a chance to pick up a used combat tank for cheap. Our center was selling and a beginner bowler bought it, not really knowing what he had. Oh, yeah, that's tough. That's a hard ball to find. Any old Motive stuff, that's the one thing. Motive stuff does not go on sale. And Russell, I'm thinking of buying an Ion Solid for a strong ASIM. I want to know your opinion. I would get the Ion Max. Remember, there's the Ion Pro, the Ion Pro Solid, and the Ion Max. The Ion Max is the big, strong ASIM. The Ion Pro is the weak hybrid. And the Ion Pro Solid is just the solid version of that Ion Pro. Still weak, but a little sharper. Nub, hey, Nub, you caught it. That only took 3 hours of resetting. That's insane. That is insane. Let's see. George, I shot 797 with my direct hit. Wow. Well done. Well done. Nick, what is your opinion on the Ultimate Defender? The Ultimate Defender wasn't bad. It was a strong hybrid. Honestly, the Ultimate Defender is pretty close to what the Paragon Shadow is now, so they're very close today. Let's see. Daryl, what's a ball in middle between a Magic Gem and a Hyper? You have a lot of options in there. You have like Lethal Venom, Venom Shock, Phase 2. You have like Zen 25. You have a ton of options between. Bowling Milk. I did hit the dark side quite a bit. The dark side is a weaker it's basically what you expect from a symmetrical weak bowling ball. It seems like I wasn't able to throw it on a great condition, but it does hook a little earlier than some other weaker bowling balls, but it makes the move you want. It's not too angular. It reacts to friction pretty well right now. So I think it's just a good like staple weak bowling ball. So I would recommend it, especially for the price, because I know the price is going down little by little. So it's not a bad choice. All right, let's see. James, any way to turn off ads for the live stream and enable after? Ad pops up and missed what you were saying. I don't think I have access to that right now, James. I think if I remember right, I think I have to have ads, kind of like Twitch, where you need them once you become a partner. And since I'm a YouTube partner, they have to be on. It's just I can choose like how often they appear. And I have it just like a middle setting right now, so I'd have to check it out a little bit. I haven't really gone into the ads much on either yet. I should, though. Corey, why do balls say 500, 1,000, and 1,500? Why not say 500? Does the order of the process do something? Yes. So, the ordering of sanding does matter because you want to slowly go up or slowly go down. So if your ball's at 2,000 grit and you want it at 500, you don't want to just hit it with 500 grit after that, because you'll end up hitting a middle ground. You'll be at like 1,000 grit after that. So what you want to do is go 2,000. You're at 2,000 grit. You hit it 1,000. Try to get as close to 1,000 as you can, and then you bring it down to 500. Get it as close to 500 that you can, and then you hit it quickly and softly with a 360 pad to get it close to that 500 point. So you have to like slowly bring it down, because if you're at a high point and you want to get to a low point, and you just use that low point, it doesn't actually get there. It gets to about a halfway point. So that's why you see that so often. Slimy Guy, love the name. Anything new, any new balls that you have? I do, like I mentioned, I have that dark side that I got from Mystery Balls. And then I also have a Beyond Infinity coming soon, or here, actually. I have a Beyond Infinity here that I need to put holes in. But I kind of want to throw it out to like my Discord of like, give me a layout. Give me a random layout to put on this thing. Because I don't need the Beyond Infinity to do anything specific. I have a lot of Pearl ASIMs right now, so kind of more of a fun, like, test more than anything. Dave, marketing manager for Brunswick here. Ultimate Defender and Paragon Shadow are not even close in your opinion. I mean, the cores are pretty similar. Brunswick, Ultimate Defender. You can still buy this thing? That's kind of crazy. No, wait. Oh, and 16 pounds you can. Oh no, 15 too. That's crazy. Let me see. 247-054-015. The cores are pretty much identical. 247-054-015. The cores are nearly identical, unless that ACT 3.0 hybrid is weaker than I thought it was. They're on, like, core cover wise, they should be fairly close. Just going by eye test. Yeah. That's a tough thing. Like, eye test versus numbers versus all of that can be vary a bunch, but based on all of the general pieces of it, they should be fairly close. And I think if you got a brand new Ultimate and you got a brand new Paragon, you wouldn't notice absurd differences. Like, you shouldn't have both of them. You definitely should not have both in the bag. Let's see. Kappa, is Typhoon good to slot between Equinox and Road Warrior? No, actually, the Typhoon is going to be later. The Typhoon is going to be later than that. So be aware of that. Gandhi, bowling in India is mostly just for fun, but that's set to change next year with backing from Cricket Goat. Hey, that is, Gandhi, that is a really good point that you mentioned of the World Bowling Tour, the WBT. I actually will have a video coming out tomorrow on YouTube and TikTok about the new World Bowling League that's coming. World Bowling League, not World Bowling Tour. World Bowling League that's coming up. It is it looks really cool. Honestly, it looks really cool. I am super excited for it. It's a really fun video. It's a bowling news video coming out that they are starting in Q1 of 2026. I'm very excited for India, especially because you guys are going to have some really competitive bowling that's going on. So very happy for you guys and very excited to see what ends up happening with that league. All right, let's see. Bowling Milk had my algebra regents today. Popular thought was that it was easy. No more finals. Hey, congrats. That is awesome. Sean, what is your opinion on the phase 2? GOAT, greatest ball ever. Next question. No, it is my favorite ball of all time. I always have a phase 2 in my bag. Except for nationals this year. I did not. I had an idol and it was the right choice. It was very much the correct option. Tom, opinion on the IQ Ruby. Another really good bowling ball. Any Pearl IQ I think is really good. I actually dulled mine now, and it's a really good weak and smoother bowling ball. I have an extra actually that I bought to replace my current one when my current one starts puking out. So I think it's a really good choice. I tend to have an IQ Ruby somewhere close by for the lower volume conditions. Another just really good ball. Another really good piece. Joe, Lane Tracks app is still inconsistent as far as rev rate. Oh, yeah, I wanted to try that a little bit. I did download Lane Tracks. For anyone who doesn't know, Lane Tracks is a new app that's supposed to basically be Specto for your pocket. It uses AI to try to calculate like your speed, your rev rate, and a couple other things. It looks really cool. It's still in beta. It's still very much in beta, so it's not going to be perfect, but that is cool to see. The stats it produces seem pretty legit. That is really cool to see. And Bowling Milk, I need a tripod for Lane Tracks. Yeah, absolutely. I think they force you to have one, right? And it makes sense. You don't want anything jumping up and down a lot because it needs to really track everything. So that fits. Daryl, what's a ball? We hit that one, Daryl. DeJoe, I'm a 320 revs on average, 15 miles an hour. I got those down with a few exceptions. I couldn't read my EJ or my Black Widow. Okay, yeah, I could see the ball getting in the way. That makes sense that the color could get janky, especially because bowling alleys have the worst lighting. Like, one of the hardest things is making a YouTube video on the lanes if the lighting sucks. It's so hard. That's why you see a lot of bowling YouTubers having the massive, like, key lights that they carry around or the studio lighting. Let's see, Chris, how long does it take just air to kill a ball? It's to make it be nothing, a really, really long time. But it does slowly get worse and worse as the years go on. And what adds on to that is cover stocks are much stronger than they were 10, 15 years ago. So all of that adding together ends up causing a ball to be a lot weaker than what it was in 2012. The core itself seems to slow down. My revs are lower with that than this new gear. Yeah, no, the cores really haven't changed. Like core shapes have, but the numbers on them, honestly, cores have gotten maybe a little bit weaker. Well, I shouldn't say that. I just got my reports done for like current bowling balls, and I think 50% of bowling balls on the market right now are asymmetrical, which are all pretty strong. So generally, the cores are pretty similar strength than what they were. Let's see. Gandhi. Virat Kohli is one of India's most influential figures. Really? I didn't know that. I did not know who Virat Kohli was. So that's really cool to know because Mookie is by far a top 5 baseball figure, baseball athlete, I guess is the best way to put it, in the US. So it was surprising to see Mookie jump onto that instead of helping out like PBA or something, but if they have that big of hope for that league, I love it. I love it. If you guys haven't, go check out World Bowling League. Otherwise, I'll have a video explaining it more tomorrow. Let's see, where are we at here? Johnny, what's your go-to ball on 47-foot PBA Shark? Strong, big, strong, smooth. I would say like my choice of my personal arsenal, Jackal Onyx. Some other options are like the Mesmerize from Brunswick. You could go the Ion Max or the RST Hyperdrive from the Storm brand, something like that. Bowling Milk, George's direct hit is clearly juiced and at 200 grit dunked in acetone. Honestly, that might not be a bad play. I couldn't believe though how slimy my cover got. I don't know if I got a bad cover on my direct hit, but dude, I resurfaced the thing. It hooked a little bit. I was like, oh, that actually looks okay. And then the next shot, like I would wipe it off and the next shot, the thing would just be slime. It would be like the oil, like, cause oil it doesn't absorb oil because it is that super weak plastic-ish cover stock. So you have to wipe it off a lot. It's kind of like urethane in that way, is what I was seeing. Bowling Milk, do you think the dark side will be making the bag? It depends where I'm going. It might be my weakest bowling ball in the bag. I think it probably would be. That was kind of my goal for it for this session. I really wanted to compare it to my Tundra Blue Fire was my hope. I just didn't have time last night too, so I'm hoping to in a couple days. Shannon Kirby, IQ Tour is my GOAT. Never leaves my bag, even though new stuff is coming out. The IQ Tour doesn't age. It literally doesn't age. It is just everlasting. It's crazy. That ball's, it's just so good. Frode, I'm buying a new ball this summer. I have a Halo, an IQ Tour, a Phase 3, and a Fate. What would you recommend? I would recommend some kind of stronger, shiny bowling ball. So like an Equinox or a Rotogrip Attention Star, since you have a lot of Storm equipment, I think would be best. Ty's Bowling, I got an IQ Ruby for 150. That's not bad, actually. That's not bad. Layout suggestions, you can go a stronger pin to PAP on it, like 4¼ inches is okay because the core is so weak on the IQ Tour. Otherwise, just go versatile is always my rec for something like that. The direct hit has a cover similar to Axes. They're not supposed to hook. Yeah, see, Dave, that's the tough part is it might have been the pros' fault, but Packy had that video go out with like Boog and Dom and Kevin and all them, and they were playing like 20 to the gutter with that thing. So everyone was like, this ball hooks so much. This is crazy. And then you actually get it, and it's like, no, this doesn't. This is just a plastic ball with a big core. Like that ball was, unfortunately, like it probably sold a bunch of them. It probably helped with sales a lot, but it was tough. And some people do like it, but not for me. That ball is still in my garage and it will be staying there for a while. I might give it another chance. I should try it more on a house shot, but if you want to play Dead Nut Straight, great play. Tiger, how about this, my man? Last question. 1, 2, 3 punch with the radioactive vibe, Arctic vibe, and the hyperdrive on 41 or 42-foot carbon, 23 to 25 mils. I'm 71 years old, rev dominant. So you have a big gap between the hyperdrive and those vibes. So it's okay. I think you could find something in between the two, but that should be okay at the end of the day. Especially with you being rev dominant, you'll probably lean more towards those vibes, especially with how little volume there is. The hyperdrive, I don't think will get much use for you on that pattern specifically. Nick, I just got the IQ Tour AI. What do you think on the shape? So I have an idea how to get it drilled. IQ AI is, what did I have it similar to? It's pretty similar to a Road Warrior with the shine on it. It's pretty angular, so be aware of that. I would still drill it a little bit stronger because that core is still that IQ Tour core. But be ready for it to be a little too sharp and be ready to take the polish off. So I think the surface matters more on that one, Nick, than the layout specifically. Let's see. Donovan, lanes on League Night are super oily. I mainly use my Sub-Zero. Yeah, even though it took it to 1500, but it won't hook. Yeah, 1500 even. Man, they got to be super wet for that. You might just have to play a little straighter and keep the surface up. Maybe go down to 1000. But if they're that oily, or be ready that your ball might be hooking too early and that they actually aren't insanely oily, but the ball is too strong. That is something also to keep in mind, that a bowling ball won't hook either because it hooks too much or too little in the front part of the lane. So that's kind of the tough thing with bowling, is like sometimes they're like your ball being too weak actually means your ball's too strong, which is so backwards. Makes the sport much, much more difficult. Let's see, where are we at? Paul, all my balls are 15 pounds, two-handed righty, but I bought a 16-pound max thrill hybrid and it was striking nonstop. Nice. Do 16-pound balls strike more than 15 or 14? No, there really isn't much difference in hitting power between 14, 15, and 16. There's nothing too extra for that. It will change your speed and rev rate though. So that's something to keep in mind. So really a lot of it is personal preference. A lot of people are going away from 16 pounds now, and a lot more are actually going to 14 pounds. So the core does change. So like if we look at the Max Thrill Hybrid, why did the Top Thrill come up as the first ball? What the heck? That was weird. All right, let's check out Bowler's Mark quick for this. They were the first ones to appear. They don't have 14 pound. All right, thanks, Bowler's Mark. 25603. Okay, they're actually pretty. Wow. Nice job, Motive. You kept the 14, 15, and 16 pound versions identical almost. So it's pretty similar. So yeah. Honestly, no, it doesn't make it hit hard or anything. Steve Suter, if it is, it's very negligible, very minor difference. Steve Suter, Outer Limits or Ultimate Wrecker? Which one would you go with? Best pearl ball in your opinion? Ooh, let me do this TikTok thing so it doesn't boot my live stream. There we go. All right, Outer Limits or Ultimate Record, they are very different bowling balls. Outer Limits Solid is super early and smooth. Ultimate Record is really, really weak. So you're pretty balanced. So it depends if you want a ball that's going to be more angular, if you want a ball to hook early and you want to play straighter with it. If you want to play straighter, go with the Outer Limits. If you don't, Ultimate Record. Best pearl ball, I mean, there isn't really a best pearl ball right now. There's a lot of options there. I like the Zen 25 a lot. I like the Scorpion Strike a lot. The Road Warrior's really good right now. Typhoon's really good from Storm. Attention Star is always a good, stronger, sharp, angular ball, but ton of options. And B Nolt, Ethos Solid, yeah, Ethos Solid seems good. I just haven't seen the comparisons. I just haven't seen what it does differently than a Hammerhead or a Stealth Mode or a GB5. There's just a lot of balls in that category, and I don't know what the differences are between a lot of them because no one has really showcased those. So Brunswick, that would be an awesome thing to see, is let us know what the differences are between the company. That's like, I understand that that doesn't happen that often. Like Storm doesn't do it often either. They actually almost never do it. They don't want their staffers to even do it, but that is something that consumers need to know. They need to know that because there's just too many strong symmetrical solids on the market. There's probably 12 right now that probably 7 that all kind of fit a general zone. And knowing the differences, it's very tough to do, very tough to see that. So you get a lot of like just panic of too many options. Ty's Bowling, what do you think of a 60 by 5 by 60 on Ruby? I think that's a little weak, honestly. I would go a little stronger on that pin distance. I'd go like 4.5. Hey, Kaya, what's going on Twitch? And Nub, it's too bad I can't go for Darkrai. I procrastinated the event. Oh, I didn't know they stopped the events for Darkrai and BDSP. I thought it was like never ending. I'll have to do the glitch in Platinum. Oh, that's fair. My heart is still pounding. Hey, finding a shiny like that is awesome. That's so cool. All right, let's hit over here. Bowling Milk, is the Dark Side a good fit to go with your Envy Tour, Ocean Vibe, and New Blue? Yeah, I think so. I think it can be bowling. Yeah, I think that can be a good fit for that. Buff Wolf, what's the worst ball of all time? All time is a lot. The old Brunswick Quantum Evo Bias was not good. That ball, that was one of the bowling balls that I saw that died out within like 10 games. I've never seen a cover stock puke out more than that ball did. It was crazy. But my true answer, hey, Maddie, thank you so much for the follow on TikTok. Appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. If I had to pick my worst ball ever, direct hit's going to be up there. But honestly, but worst ball that I've personally thrown is probably the Storm DNA, just because of how poorly it was marketed in terms of like what it was versus what they said it was. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with bowling is like when a company kind of really pushes, this is what this ball does, this is what it does, and then psych, this is actually what it does, is never the most fun thing in the world. That isn't really good. I got tricked on that. The DNA actually cost me nationals to a certain degree. Like, did I throw it good? No, but the DNA, after I threw it a little bit on practice and I thought, all right, if I keep the surface down, it might be good at nationals. And it was not. It never hooked. So I physically could not use the DNA as one of my 6 bowling balls, which cost me. Oh, that I wanted to throw that ball into the deepest river at that point. That was awful. Craig Smith, I've heard the new ball. Oh no, we hit that one. Sorry. We hit that one. We hit that one. Where are we at over here? RJ, I put on hold for purchasing the Typhoon. Looking at the ultimate record. Do I need to use 35-degree drilling angle? No, not at all. To make it roll earlier. No, that number won't make it roll earlier. Your pin to PAP will. So I just have the pin to PAP a little shorter and you'll be set. Corey, I can't find the Discord. It's been months. What, Corey? We've talked about this. What do you mean? Where's my Discord? I've sent you the link, right? No way. I 100%. Let me just open up my link tree, actually. My computer's about to explode because I tried opening Discord. There's Discord. Here, let me grab this quick. Discord. Let's see. Can I please? Copy link address. Go over here. Okay, there's my Discord for anybody who wants it. There is a link for it. One of the many. But let's keep going. All right, Jaybird, at this point in bowling with your knowledge, do you buy whatever you like based off self-appeal or do you put your thought? I put a lot of thought into it. I put a lot less thought into it now that I'm actually doing content because I do have some bowling balls that are content creation bowling balls. The direct hit and the IQ 78, I would never buy those things ever. I did it for the 10K special, which is coming out on Sunday. Otherwise, like I put way too much thought into buying bowling balls. I really do. I put a lot of effort into researching bowling balls, and even before social media, like I would put way too much time into it. I would actually buy a lot of and I still do this. I buy a lot of used bowling balls to test them, just to see, do I like this kind of bowling ball? I really only bought new bowling balls that were like, I knew I'd really, really like Scorpion Low Flare, for example, was one. I was like, I need this ball. This one's going to be, it looks really good so far. I've seen it go down the lane a bunch and it looks awesome. So that was one that I bought. Zen 25 again, another one where I put in a good amount of research, watched a lot of reviews, watched it compared to like a Zen and things like that. And like, all right, this is going to be a staple ball. But yeah, a lot of it is just like, yeah, self-appeal always plays in there. But yeah, the research really matters there too. And I still have to do that for my true tournament arsenal just because I do buy everything that I throw. Do not get anything for the freeze. I'm not, a lot of content creators do. So there you'll see their tournament arsenals being radically different from like what I use, for example. DJ Settle, I'm thinking about getting a replacement for my Halo Pearl Equinox. Equinox is going to be the closest replacement. Maribeth, what's going on? Welcome over on the TikTok. Good to see you. Brooke, what's going on? Sadly, I think it's time to replace the Piranha. Oh, I'm sorry for that. As the only person that I know that truly loved that Piranha, I'm very sorry. But the Troublemaker Pearl is going to be really close to that OG Piranha. I'd say that's probably the closest thing in Brunswick's lineup right now. I'd avoid the Super CUDA hybrid. I don't think that's as close. I would go Troublemaker. It's also a better ball too than the Super CUDA. Also, you got your Maribeth jersey. Hey, love to see that. That is awesome. Love to hear that. Angus Beef. I love your name, bro. Speaking of the new balls, I picked up the Paragon Shadow, and it may be the strongest ball I've ever come across. Yeah, the core is so hefty on that thing. So it's good to hear that it's strong. Hopefully it's usable, because that's a hard part with balls that are too strong or too angular. Like, how usable are they? That was kind of my biggest gripe with the Hater Pearl was, is it too angular to actually throw? And there have been some people who've thrown it, but it is insanely angular. And sometimes you don't need that much angle. That's kind of my intense mindset. It's just too sharp down lane. Even though I drilled it smoother, it hits friction and it goes sideways no matter what. Let's see. Queen B, what about the 3D Assault Offset? That ball's really good. Also a sleeper ball. That ball's awesome for a stronger smoother ball. That and the Paragon Shadow will be kind of in the same vicinity of just that like strong, smooth bowling ball that still has a little bit of pop down lane because of the hybrid cover stock. Also a really good one. Brooke, thinking more of what I thought the Piranha was going to be, like a smooth sim. Is it too much alike? Thinking more of what I thought yeah. Too much like the harsh. If you want to avoid the harsh, honestly, Troublemaker Solid will be a good play if you want to go Brunswick. Hazmat Solid is a cheap one right now that you could go. It's a little bit stronger than that OG Piranha, so it's going to be closer to your harsh. If you want to go further away from your harsh, I think Troublemaker. What are some other options that aren't going to break the bank? That's probably the best one right now. There aren't many. Venom Shock could be an okay one. There aren't many weaker, smooth solids on the market in that realm that aren't $200. Any Storm, unfortunately, you have a big gap between like the Rockstar from Roto Grip and like the Ion Pro. The problem is the Ion Pro is so bloody expensive. $200 before drilling is a lot of money for a bowling ball. So the Ion Pro would be a great choice, but it is very pricey. That's something to keep in mind. That is something to keep in mind. That's my bit. I wish that ball was like $30 cheaper. I think it'd be awesome. It'd do so well. Wyatt Mack would 14.5 to 15 mile an hour speed with 270 to 280 revs be speed dominant or balanced? I would say it's a little more balanced, honestly. I would say it's a little bit more balanced, Wyatt. Was looking at something urethane or urethane like Purple Hammer. No question, no doubt about it. Purple Slammer all day, every day. Best urethane on the market. Do not get the 78U unless you want to play really straight. Ball isn't as bad as I think it is. I should stop being mean to that ball. Well, as mean as I am to that ball. Yofo, still have a drilled Attention Star. Would it be wrong to get an Evoke? No, the Evoke is stronger. The Evoke is definitely stronger than the Attention Star, so it's still good to get. I think it's a good 1-2 combo. They're a little close, but not too bad. Big Mike, you have to pay to not have ads. Yeah, you need that YouTube Premium, don't you? I think that's what you need. I always thought the YouTube membership avoided it, kind of like Twitch, kind of like a Twitch subscription does, but it does not, which sucks. I really wish it. I wish it did. All right, let's see. We are trying to catch up on comments right now. Oh man, I'm 20 minutes behind on comments. I'm really sorry if I haven't gotten your comment yet. I'm about 20 minutes behind. I will keep catching up. Quick reminder for everybody, we are live on 3 different platforms. We go live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time for all of these Q&As. Main topic of the day is, are the new bowling balls worth it right now? TLDR is wait a little bit longer until the Bowl Expo balls come out and then make your decisions for league season that's coming up. Otherwise, other shameless plugs. We have our ZVL Bowling crew neck on. Unfortunately, I was really hoping the logo would actually be shown in the shot, but the logo is a little too low for me to be doing it. I'm also wearing a grout fit right now. We got the gray on gray going. But if you want this, bowlerstore.com or TikTok shop Bowler Store. If you want to check out some ZVL Bowling merch, highly recommend. It's actually really good quality, which is the big one for me. I love that the quality is good. Better than what was on the Teespring ones. Definitely better than what was on the Teespring one. But let's keep on trucking. Steve, is the Arctic Vibe worth it? Better for a one-handed lefty or two-handed righty? Arctic Vibe is good. It's one of the better, weaker bowling balls, and it's super cheap too. So it's a lot of bang for your buck. Brooke, I got recommended the stealth mode, but I've never heard of it. Desperately need a purple hammer. Also, did you figure out if you and Maribeth are going to Junior Gold? Would love to see you there. For your first question, stealth mode. Stealth mode is going to be really strong. It's going to be fairly close to your harsh reality. So that's the one issue with that ball. It's a little too strong to have a big difference between the harsh and that guy. Now, your second question, I think Maribeth is going if she's still here. I think she already left the stream. She kind of does that, but I'll have to ask her later. Or if she jumps back in to see if she's going. But I am still debating it. I'm going to be in Vegas the week before. So it depends if I go down to, I'm tempted to make it a trip. The problem is, like, to go to Junior Gold, it's always good to have, like, reasons. And I don't have, like, I don't have any companies inviting me out there. I don't have anything that I'm specifically doing. And that's kind of the tough piece. So I'm still on the fence. But if any bowling companies want me out there, please let me know. That'd be great. Be great to have more things to do out there instead of, like, I don't want to do like a signing session. I'm not a celebrity. If you want stuff signed, I'll gladly sign it, but I'm more gonna, like, hang out and talk to you and all that stuff. Brooke, we'll see. I gotta go, but have a good night. All right, you too, Brooke. You too. Angus, the Paragon absolutely moves. I don't know if the numbers aren't accurate, but my hyperdrive is an 8. The Paragon is a 10.5. That is crazy. That's so crazy. Too tall. Love to see bowling growing internationally. Oh, me too. I love that so much. All right, Dilly Pickley. I love it. Your guys' names are awesome. I'm just here to ask your suggestion for a 5-ball arsenal. Your bowling Junior Gold, awesome. Righty, 15 to 16 miles an hour, 400 to 500 RPM, or 450 to 500. Dilly, I have a Junior Gold arsenal guide on both YouTube and TikTok. I'd highly recommend checking it out. Go to my channel, just search up Junior Gold. I think it came out about a month ago. Highly recommend checking that out. That's going to help you build an arsenal. Deaf Sound Guy, CG claims that with their pads, you can go straight to whatever grit you want. Be safe. Be safe and just slowly increment down or decrement down or increment up. Yeah, I would recommend continue doing that. That's great that CTD does claim that. Granted, it is their, I mean, yeah, I would recommend doing it how everybody has done it for a while. I'm not usually a big tradition guy, but that one generally works. So it's a little safer that you know you'll get there. Azalea, my current arsenal for nationals is an Effect Tour, Lethal Venom, Phase 2, Hustle Rip, Zen Gold Label, and a Pure Envy. Is it too much? I'm driving. No, it's never too much. The more balls you can have, the better out there. You have a lot of smooth stuff, which is good. You want more smooth equipment compared to sharp equipment, so I like that a lot. Let's see. Did I miss anything over here? Kirk, is something like a GB4 an okay first reactive ball? Yeah, I think so. I think it's okay, Kirk. There's no problems with that. No problems at all with that. Sir Goose, what's up? What's your thoughts on the Belmo Identity? The Identity is actually a pretty good Belmo ball. It's probably one of the best Belmo balls. Unfortunate that it was a limited release, but it was good. It was a good, pretty sharp asymmetrical pearl. It was one of the sharper asim pearls that Storm has had in a while. They haven't really had like a super angular strong asim, but that Identity kind of fits that pretty well. So I think it's good. I think it's a pretty good ball. Let's see. Oh, Dilly, you had a second one. Sorry. My entire arsenal is Eternity Pie, Eternity, Harsh Pearl, Omega Crux, X3, Duo, Ultimate Wrecker, IQ 78, Deep Purple Hustler, and your spare ball. Yeah, I would recommend, I mean, there's a lot of options. You have a lot of asymmetrical balls, and then Ultimate Wrecker and a Duo. I'd only bring one of the Ultimate Wrecker or the Duo. Don't bring both. And then I would only bring one of your IQ 78 or your Purple Hustler. Bring one or the other of those. And then a spare ball. I'd definitely bring the spare ball. So I'd definitely, for sure, bring the Eternity Pie or the Omega Crux, and then the Eternity or the Harsh Reality Pearl. Don't bring both of each. Brooks, is there a way to figure out what year a ball was poured? Yes. So only on Storm bowling ball. Storm is the only one who does this. The first 2 numbers in the serial number for a Storm bowling ball is the year that it got poured. So if you look at your Storm ball and you look at the serial number and it says 24 as the first 2 digits, 24, then it was poured in 2024. Storm's the only ones who do this. I think Motive might have a way to see that, but I'm not positive. Not 100%. All right, Kappa. I've only bowled for just over a year. Most of my knowledge comes from YouTube. Anything you would recommend between the Equinox and a Road Warrior? Probably a Zen 25 would be the closest thing, or a Phase AI to fit there. I'd recommend Zen 25 though. I'm personally not a fan of the Phase AI much. Monkey, I got an Equinox toward the ends of last season. What would you suggest a ball up and down? Origin is a ball up, ball down. I would go Road Warrior. I'd go Road Warrior for that. Ronald Skyrider, Storm Rad Core AI coming to North America? Maybe. I usually Bowl Expo, they have these like kind of bigger, crazier announcements, so I could see it. I could see it. Nate Diggity Dog, is the Super Clutch going to be as strong as a Primal Rage? No, it's weaker. It is a couple boards weaker and a little bit smoother also. James D, how often do you change up your arsenal you take to League? Literally every week. Last year was the first time I brought the same ball to League like 4 weeks in a row. I usually mix it up a lot to try to get an idea what my stuff does and kind of for the fun of it. I kind of get bored at League at times. I'm an honor score hunter where like if I shoot 680, I'm like, cool, but I kind of like shoot for like, I need that 780 to 800 and I need that bit 300. So I switch it up a lot. Brandon Yoon, is there anything you wish would be announced at Bowler Expo? I want to see a Storm tote bag colors and Storm ball with Rex. I would love to see a new Venom from Motive. I think a hybrid Venom needs to come, something to replace the blue coral that got discontinued a while ago. I think something good from Brunswick, something like jaw-dropping from Brunswick. Like, we need something like the Mesmerize and Vaporize to come out. Something more of a wow factor from them. The last couple releases have been, like, there hasn't been anything that, like, drops your jaw, this is the coolest thing ever. We need something like that from Brunswick to really get back on the board. Storm, I would say a new ASIM Pearl that's super angular. I think we need an ASIM Pearl that's really angular or a stronger Sim Pearl that's really angular. Right now, their weak stuff is super skid snappy, but we need a stronger skid snappy ball. Like, what would be a good example? I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, I mean, honestly, I'd love to see like Nuclear Cell 2.0. I think that'd be kind of cool. That ball is kind of quick off the spot. Something like that would be sweet. But that's kind of what the what the tension star is. Matthew, what's going on, Matthew? Are you going to Bowling Expo? I am not. I will not be at Bowler Expo because I was not going to buy plane tickets to Washington, D.C. And I'm going to Vegas for the True Amateur Tournament at the beginning of July. So I can't use up all my vacation time immediately. I got to save a little bit of it up. And Kaya over on Twitch. Sorry for the delay, Kaya. Apologies. I did have my Jackal Ghost taken down to 1,000. It worked out pretty well once I got to the second and third game. Nice. Watch most people playing between 5 and 10 most of the night. So go into game 2 and 3, they started moving in, and I went in and played that and had been on played that with my Ghost. Finished with a 202 game 3. Nice. That's awesome. Good to hear. That's really good to hear. Yeah, glad you were able to play that. House Hack. Last year was technically the Harsh Pearl, so good chance that could happen. Yeah. That's also what's going on, House Hack. Good to see you. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Like, it usually you want right before league season your house shot bowling ball to get released. So like I would have honestly kind of expected the Equinox to get released in like September or October compared to like I think it was March this year that it was announced. Or no, it was February. It was February because I was just getting back from Pittsburgh when it came out. And I was able to see Maribeth throw hers. So yeah, I could see it. I could see it. That, like big, strong, super boomy ASIM, definitely something that would sell well. So I could see that being the play. Steve, why do bowling balls crack? Have had 3 crack in the last 3 months. Just been in our living room. So bowling balls are weird when they crack. The reason they do, now I'm not I'm not a scientist in this regard. I'm not a bowling ball core creator or designer to know this perfectly, but from my knowledge of it, there's two reasons. One, the core expands or shrinks very quickly due to a quick change in temperature. So if you have your ball in the car and it's 110 degrees and then you bring it into like 70-degree AC, that can cause the ball to go from really big to tiny, and that can cause it to crack, or the core of it to do that. The other reason is that oil gets extracted too quickly from the cover stock. So that's why if you put your ball into too high of heat, then it ends up cracking because it just gets too hot, the core gets too big, and then the oil seeps too quick and bad things happen. So what I always recommend to avoid that, so back when I was like starting bowling, what we had at my uncle's bowling alley was we had wooden racks that we put the bowling balls on. I had a ball cracking literally every month. I had one ball crack a month. Every one of my favorite balls cracked out. I never had a ball long enough to actually lose like its reaction because it would crack. It would crack so quickly. We had no idea why. The reason is we put it on wood. Like if you put it on a wood surface or carpet, that is the worst thing for it. The best thing to put bowling balls on is metal or plastic, hard plastic, because that isn't going to absorb any oil. So that avoids any cracking. So Steve, if your balls are cracking, I'm guessing you had it like on carpet, and that can be a problem. That can definitely be an issue. So I'd be aware of that. That's for everybody out there, by the way. Don't put your bowling balls on carpet or wood. And Nick, what are your thoughts of the IQ Tour AI and where does it fit? It's definitely a weaker medium sharp ball, and it does look pretty good. It changes a lot based on the cover stock. When it's shiny, it's one of the most angular balls you'll see thrown. Before that, if you put surface on it, it's just like a slightly sharper IQ Tour. So the surface matters a lot on that bowling ball. The quack that kills. I love these usernames today. Well done. Should I replace my Zen for an Evoke Hysteria? I would replace it for a Zen 25. Evoke Hysteria could work, but I'd go Zen 25 will be a closer replacement. And Gandhi, how often do you get new bowling balls? How long do you usually keep them before retiring? And what makes you decide it's time to replace? I almost never retire a bowling ball. It's kind of crazy. I still own most of the bowling balls I've ever purchased in the last 4 years. Like I still own 85% of them probably. Like I don't throw them because I always have that thought of like, well, what if I want to use it again? Like I still have my original nuclear cell. I still have my first phase 2 from 2020. I still have, what else do I have? I still have my original IQ Ruby. Like I keep every old ball just because I'm kind of psychotic with that. I shouldn't, but I get new bowling balls I try to get one a month right now with the channel. Before the channel, I would buy probably 1 to 2 used bowling balls per month is what it was. And what makes you decide it's time? Usually you notice the reaction of the ball just not being what it used to be. More of an eye test than anything. All right, let's catch back over here. User, is the Paragon Shadow too close to the Criterion Hybrid? I don't think so. The Criterion Hybrid is a lot sharper and a lot longer. So you can have them both, but they are both strong ASIM. So if you have 3 bowling balls, if you only want 3 bowling balls, don't have them both. If you have 6, I think it's okay. Bowling Milk, my dad gets confused as I start talking to a 6'5" guy in his 20s drinking energy drinks. As he should, as he should. You should tell him, I have a lot of weird stuff. I mean, I have a Pikachu 8-bit up here, 8-bit, not Lego, but basically Lego. I think it's like Blocks or something was the brand. Make sure to tell him that too. The weirdest thing is, yeah, me drinking an energy drink at 7:25 p.m. Bad idea. Dub, what's going on? Question. My wife started with a plastic ball and now it's looking to upgrade. Awesome. I'd recommend a hustle. Just go with a hustle, one of the hustles. That's a good step up. That'll hook. House hack. Bowl Expo really needs to reintroduce a 900 Global lineup. 900 Global has nothing right now. You are 100% right on that. They have, let's check it out quick. 900 Global. 900 Global. I almost spelled global correctly. Do they have 5 bowling balls right now or 6? No, they have 4. Really? They have 4 bowling balls? Huh. 900 Global has 4 bowling balls right now. Yeah, we need something. We need something decent from Global. That'd be great. That'd be really appreciated. That's so sucky, man. Johnny, what's going on? How long should you buy new balls to replace the ones you throw when you bowl 3 games a week? Probably once every 1.5 to 2 years would be my bet. Charmaine, what lane condition would you use your Zen? Almost everything, in all honesty. Most stuff you can use a Zen on. It's a very versatile piece. It can be good on short, medium, long, just depends on the situation. Generally, it's going to be transition. So like games 3, 4, 5. Tyler, thanks for reviewing my arsenal. For sure. I don't have any medium smooth balls. You said maybe to get an Equinox. Would an Optimum Idol work? An Optimum Idol would be a good medium smooth ball if you can find one. Now, they are discontinued and pretty much sold out everywhere. So like a Phase 2 or a Rockstar can work as well. Revs, I hear sand the direct hit to 2K. I've also heard to throw it in the nearest dumpster. That's also a good option. Or river, but one or the other, whichever you prefer, really, whichever is closer to your vicinity. No, yeah, if people use it for a strike ball, they use it sanded. Like, you have to super sand it and play dead straight. Robin, notice I've been going SPI for my strong stuff and B7 for my weak. Hey, that's totally fair. Honestly, both have really good benchmark options, so either one will be great. Let's see. Enoch, favorite strong and sharp option from all the brands right now if you had to say Attention Star. Attention Star, Track Theorem, Evoke Hysteria. Top 3. Not in that order. Evoke Hysteria first. That ball's good. Ball is super good. Average bowler guy, Ambush and an Equinox. Ambush is an oldie. Wow. That is not really an oldie. It's only a couple years old, but that is basically the former Jackal Onyx. Gabe 2 Trash, how do you feel about PBA Junior? I think PBA Junior is a really, really cool idea. I love that PBA started that program. It's a fantastic option for more youth bowling to happen. My biggest worry is that people spend too much time bowling 12 months out of the year because that's not good. You don't want to be doing something 12 months straight as a kid. You get burnt out very quickly. The last thing you want is get burnt out from a lifetime sport. Don, bowling ball cracking is its way to tell you to get a new ball. Also true. That is what your pro shop will tell you. Ronald Skyrider. I don't know why I always like overseas balls since it fits my style. Hey, that's all right. Everybody has stuff that fits them better. For me, it's the really weak core and really strong cover bowling balls that match up really well. That's why I like the low flare and the effect tour. Those are the main 2 reasons. All right. Nick, I have an Ultimate Defender, a Phase 2, and an IQ AI. Is there anything I'm missing? You could definitely get a stronger Pearl Ball if you want, but that's a good start. I really like that start. And Check MP, what is going on? How you doing, man? Slimy Guy, I want to say thank you for doing my arsenal. That helped me, and it's nice to know you have covered all of my spots. Hey, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Hoosier, any new Motive news? We have a Supra clutch that got announced. It is not a Supra. I don't know why Motive does it with the Supra. The Supra doesn't really have a true core. This is a new core an old core that they're bringing back. It's called the Quad Fire core. It was in their Octane series. Older core. It's a little bit stronger than the old Supra. And then they just put a hybrid cover stock on it. So it's a new ball that fits after a Hyper Venom, kind of like that weak sharp category. It's a stronger piece, a little bit smoother than what Motive is marketing it as, but it looks pretty decent right now. It is expensive though, 175 bucks. Quack. I need to upgrade my Zen. What is the Evoke Hysteria? I think we hit that one already. Tyler, would Ion Pro Solid work? Ion Pro Solid is a little too weak, in my opinion. Joe, I got a free SPI ball and need a weak sim. Typhoon or High Road? Ooh. If you want a lot of angle, go High Road. If you want smoother, go Typhoon. Lorenz, we are switching to the chameleon pattern. Any rec for one-handed lefty, play straighter. Straighter is greater with a smoother ball on that pattern. That's going to be your play. Row BA, you won a Supra clutch. Hey, congratulations. That is awesome. That's super cool. Hey, Steve, Utah Bowler, what's going on, man? Is the Ion Pro Solid close to the IQ Tour? Yes and no. It's going to be a little stronger and a little sharper. So it kind of fits in the same category if you only have like 5 or 6 bowling balls, But if you have more, I think you can buy both. Otherwise, I don't recommend both. They are going to be a little too close together. The Ion Pro Solid is going to be a bit stronger. Ion Pro Solid is like between a strong symmetrical ball and the IQ Tour is where I see it. Jay, what is a good transition ball to go with the Mania? Transition ball, Scorpion Strike. Scorpion Strike for sure. Bowling Milk, ZVL prays before bed. Every night the direct hit will be cracked when he wakes up. Oh, I wish. I wish. Alas, I spent money on that thing. That was a choice. Whiskey, bowling out a 44-foot Scorpion tonight. Brought a Pure Envy, Ethos Hybrid, and a Black Widow Darkness. What surface should I use? Dull on the Pure Envy. I'd keep Ethos Hybrid and the Black Widow at like, 3,000 or 1,500 shiny. Either should be fine. Either of those should be good to go. Robert Throop. Thoughts on the new EJ ball? It seems to be a bit cleaner. I would disagree. I think it's a little more, it's actually a little smoother than I expected. The ball hooks a lot. That's pretty much Motive's Paragon Shadow or Motive's Physics Blackout. It is just a step down from the Onyx. It is pretty smooth. I think the Jackal Ghost is actually a little cleaner. I think the Jackal Ghost hooks a little later. The Jackal Ghost changes a lot more based on the surface on it, and the Jackal EJ just seems to want to hook a bunch. So it is both early and it's pretty angular. So it's kind of unique in that way. Robin Bargo, but then you need it to be drilled correctly. Yes, drilling is important, yeah, for a lot of stuff. It doesn't affect insane amounts, but a little bit. Let's see. Revs on the left, check, MP. Gandhi, some people prefer 13 pounds since they're easier to control. Most brands change the core, correct. Which can really alter how the ball performs. What's your take on that? Yeah, actually, ironically, there was a couple guys in my comment section for my Black Widow 3.0 video that were arguing because I made a video on the short form content of the Black Widow 3.0 again as like a retrospective after about a year and a half. And one guy called me out saying, hey, you said the gas mask core is on all the Black Widows, but you're wrong because the 13-pound version doesn't have the Black Widow core. It's like, yes, it doesn't. The core is 10 times weaker because you can't physically put that core in the ball because it's too heavy. So I don't think 13-pound is a good idea. 14? Yes. 13? No bueno. Don't go with 13. 14 is best. The core is the second most important part of the bowling ball. So like if we look at the Black Widow 3.0, we look at the Black Widow at 13 pounds, it has a 2.59 RG and 0.43 diff. Yeah, it weakens up so much and it also hits softer because it's just too weak of a bowling ball. So I don't recommend it. I don't recommend 13. I recommend 14 or higher. Emrod, have you applied surface to your Zen? Yes, I did. I do usually try to keep it around 3,000 grit. I do notice when it gets too shiny, it's not good. But when it's around 3,000 grit, it's actually pretty decent. Yofo, I hope you never accept balls from companies to review. I trust your full unbiased analysis over people who get free balls just to promote. Yofo, so my big thing is the only reason I would take equipment from companies, I would accept them and make reviews, but my thing is staying as unbiased as possible because getting the equipment for free is not worth more than staying unbiased because I'm not a guy who sells out really. I'm not a big sellout. I will tell you the good things for things I believe in. I will tell you the bad things for things I don't believe in. That's just how it is. I'm a very I don't like lying. It really personally, it does not sit with me at all. So even if I can't even get myself to believe a ball is good, even if it's bad, I will tell you as unbiased as possible what I think of it. That's why I said the Ion Pro Solid. I've said a lot of good things about Storm, but the Ion Pro Solid is way too damn expensive, way too pricey. So yeah, I would still if I had Motive come up to me hey, we will give you some equipment. You can stay exclusive and talk about, or you don't have to be exclusive. You can talk about the other brands. And you can also say whatever you want about our equipment. Sure. But if there would ever be anything hey, please say some nice things. I can't guarantee that. So yeah, don't never have to worry about that. Do not worry about that, guys. George, Sunstorm. Oh, that ball sucked. That ball was so bad. That was such a bad choice of a ball. I forgot that thing existed. I kind of blocked it out of my memory. Oh, whoopsie. Yeah, that ball was awful. ZVL, did you read my comment? A drink you got to try. I did not, Gabriel. Where did you put that on Discord? Or where did you throw that? I know you're on our Discord a bunch. Go check out our Discord, by the way. It's a really fun place. I did not see it. Let me know what it was, though, man. It was on TikTok. I don't remember it, so let me know again. Otherwise, I'll check it out after all this. Yofo, what's your request, or what would you say for a current house shot killer two-handed lefty? Two-handed lefty. Dark side might not be bad. Scorpion. I wish the Scorpion low flare. That'd be an awesome one. IQ Tour, I think would be really good. Otherwise, like maybe an Attention Star might be a little too angular. I would maybe not go Attention Star. One of those two I think would be good. Revs on the left, you think another NV Tour or Effect Tour Pearl? I would say Effect Tour Pearl would be my guess. That seems like what they would announce to try to get some hype. I know they've had a lot of Hammer releases this year, but I think they're going to keep that train going because Hammer sells really, really well. There's a lot of Hammerheads out there. No pun intended on the ball. No pun intended at all. Ralphie Wolfie. I like chicken nuggets. Me too, bro. Me too. John Minert. Best ball for two-finger, no thumb. There's a ton of options out there, John. You're going to want something a little weaker, though. The Hustle range might be best, especially if you're getting your first ball. Bart Builds. What's going on, Bart? And Tyler, what is drink on tonight's stream? Tonight's stream. Now, this is one I will shamelessly plug. I will, if Ghost ever comes up to me with a contract, I will sign that immediately. But I just love Ghost way too much. Ghost Bubblicious Cotton Candy is drink of the day. I just had these shipped to me and they were delivered as I was getting home today. So we had to try it out. Don't drink caffeine past like 5 p.m. Bad idea. I'm not going to get much sleep. I got like 4 hours last night, so I am screwed for tonight. But this thing tastes like cotton candy, and it's awesome. Super cool. David Price. How does the Origin EX compare to a Phase 2 and the Blackout? It is a little bit smoother and a little bit weaker than the Phase 2 is what I've seen. It's kind of close to a Phase 2. Like, I would say Phase 2 and Origin EX could fit the same part in the bag. And then it's very different from a Blackout. The Blackout's going to be both earlier and sharper. So that is what I see between all those. James D, are you currently in a scratch league? No, there are actually no scratch leagues in my area, so I am not. And Rev, CTD has a surface guide when using their pads. Oh, that's good to hear at least. That's really good to hear. Kaya, any speculation in next year's Nationals and or Women's Nationals based on how things are going this year? I don't remember where Women's Nationals is. Is that in Vegas next year? I think that's in Vegas. 2026 Women's USBC Open Championship. Or it'd be Women's Championship. There we go. It is in, drumroll please. Yeah, no. It's in Vegas this year. Yeah, what about 2026? Don't they have it? Oh, it is Vegas again. Okay. So, yeah, you're in Vegas again. I mean, I would say scores for the women will be identical to this year. And men, you're going to see the scores get a little bit higher since we're back in Reno. Reno usually scores a little better than some of the random places like Baton Rouge. John Minor just got into bowling a couple months ago. Had a Storm Tropical Tropical Surge drilled. Started going no thumb. Got my average to 154. Hey, nice. That's awesome. Looking for something to hit the pocket harder. Yeah, you're going to want to go like maybe a step or two above it. So like a Hustle M&M or a Hustle Glow, I think will be good. Otherwise, if you want to go a little stronger, you could go a Typhoon. Storm Typhoon could be good too. Too tall. I sand my bowling balls the same way I was taught for auto body. Sand up in increments for consistency, but sanding down, just hit it with the grit. Oh, and that's kind of what's based on too tall to a certain degree. Because like the one difference in bowling is you want those pores, you want it to open up a lot when you put on a lot of surface. That's something to keep in mind. So no, that's honestly pretty decent. Wyatt, my friend just polished his UC3. Yes, that ball is actually good polished. It's weird because it's not technically urethane. It's like Did they call it Tourethane, I think, is the name of that cover stock or something? It's not urethane, but it's close. So it's actually low-key pretty decent that way. Big Mike, wait, you can go to Bowlers Expo. Yes, you can. Anybody can go to Bowlers Expo for certain pieces of it, not all of it. Yeah, you can just buy tickets, I believe. They don't advertise it at all, from what I'm aware of. Johan, what's going on? Hope everything's good. Yeah, things are great, man. Good to see you here. Good to see you. Rev CTD also has a video of why balls crack. Good. That's good to see. Yeah, not many people talk about that for some reason. Can you guess what ball is the most used in the U21 World Cup in Sweden? I'm gonna assume it's purple. I'm gonna assume that ball is purple, Johan. It has to be, always. Bowling Milk, Origin, two-handed lefty ball. Origin hooks a lot is the one issue. Origin EX could be a really good lefty ball also, actually. Sean, Storm Absolute Power Phase 2. I have those two as nearly identical. Pick whichever one you want. They're going to be very similar down lane. Michelle, currently own a Phase 2 in Origin, a Hustle M&M, and a Zen U. What would be one more good addition? I would recommend a... I would go a ball between the Origin and the Hustle. Road Warrior could be good. Phase AI, Zen 25, something like that. Let's see, where are we at? Tyler, would a hammerhead work in a medium smooth category? Yes, absolutely. That's the perfect spot for it. Kelvin, I sold my Origin because I didn't like the roll. Should I go the EX and try again? No, if you don't like the Origin roll, don't get the EX. They're gonna have similar, they have the same cores, so they're gonna have similar ball shapes, just different ways of doing it. Johnny, what can I expect from the hammerhead? Is your medium smooth? Middle of the road, medium smooth ball. It's going to be, you know what it's going to do. It's going to be very consistent. The ball reaction is going to be pretty similar the entire time. So that's what it'll be. Russell, would you recommend international bowling balls? I think they're cool. They're fun and quirky, but they're very expensive. So it depends how much you're willing to drop on a bowling ball. If you don't want to get something super pricey, stay with US releases, domestic releases. If you want to have some fun with it, go with one. They have some cool combos, some cool colors, so that's always the fun thing with them. David Jones, how does the new Typhoon compare to the Hustle Rip? Typhoon's going to be stronger, a bit stronger, a little bit sharper too than the Hustle Rip. Janet, I used my Fury Solid and Code Black and love them. I bowled 290 with my black last year. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Richard Santine, when are you going to do another Arsenal video? How can I send my info? So, on my YouTube, on my last Arsenal video, it was part 7. There is a Google Forms link in the description. Go use that, and then you can insert your Arsenal. Kaya, I noticed the cores in Motive look the same from lightest weight 12 pounds up through 16. Yes, Motive is the only one that does that. A lot of the others use very generic cores at 12. Motive is actually probably the best at making cores that are very similar, 14, 15, and 16 pounds. Storm was going to with the AI cores, and then they got away from that. Brunswick never really tried to go towards that. They get close at times, but they don't get as close as Motive does. Ronald, with new tech always bringing out new ball combos, I tried no more than 2 a year. My favorites are the Absolute line, mostly overseas. What's the best way to recondition an old ball? So you can do a detox on them. You bring them to your pro shop and they have a detox machine that extracts the oil in a safe way that doesn't cause the ball to crack. And then resurfacing the ball are the 2 best ways. Robin, best smelling ball tier list. Ooh. Low key, not a bad idea. The best smelling. If I ever I'm low on content, I might do that. I might try that out. That'd be kind of fun. Brooks, you have a Hysteria, a Jackal, and you just got an EJ Venom and a Ghost. What's a good 2LS layout for the Ghost? Also, I have the Thrill. I would go a little. I would do the same thing you have on your Jackal. Same exact layout that you have on the EJ Jackal, and I think that could fit really well because that'll still be in between all of your other ASIMs. Gandhi, do you think core design still impacts performance even when the RG values are similar? And what's your favorite core design you've ever used? Do you think core design still impacts performance even when the RG values are similar? Yes, the core shape matters a lot too compared to just the raw numbers. You can get 2 balls with the same exact core numbers and the same cover. They're going to do 2 different things. So the shape does matter. And what is your favorite core that you've used so far? Physics core. Physics core seems to always be good, no matter what the cover stock is, versus the phase 2 core almost always sucks unless it's on that phase 2 cover stock. Bowling with Brooks, no thumb, one-hander. Yeah, I would still go, I'd go a little weaker maybe, but stay similar. Ronald, Zach, you're one of the honest reviewers, which I thought why I like to watch your videos. Oh, thank you, man. Even though I'm an SPI fanatic because of the Sentin AI tech. Hey, that's okay. Our goal is to reach, like, everyone has a favorite brand, of course. Everyone has a favorite. So our goal is just to reach out to every person in every brand and try to show them the best ones in their category, in their area, or try to help them reach out to other brands. This is overall what we're trying to do here. Just try to help everyone know a little bit more of what's going on. Let's see. Are you still going through the email arsenal submissions before the forms? Yes, I am. I'm going to go through all the emails first. Jamin, replacements for my phase 2 that's dying, another phase 2. Otherwise, if you don't want another phase 2, Rockstar is a really good option. Rockstar is a really good option. The one, I see a big gap in the motive chart. What do you think is going to fill that spot? I think they're actually going to pick up a new strong symmetrical core or a weak asymmetrical core. So I think we're going to have a replacement of the Pride series. I don't know what it's going to be. I bet it's going to be new though, because before that they had, what did they have in that spot? It wasn't the Prides. They had something else similar. And then they went to the Prides and they had those for like 5 years or 4 years. And now they're going to go to something new, guaranteed. Smitty, image of the direct hit just dropped. Oh, the dumpster fire. It fits so well. Don, I'll give you a hint about the Sunstorm. Hated it until I changed the surface. 500, 1000, 2000 polish. Then shot several 7s with it. That makes sense. That cover stock was really good shiny. My Axiom was still phenomenal when it was shiny. Not when it was dull, though. It was bad when it was dull. RJ, experimenting two-handed, 0 pitches, the first 3 rings hitting holes. Any advice? What pitches to move away from hitting the hole? So, as a two-hander, you need your pitches to be away. You need away pitch or reverse pitch. It's just, otherwise you're going to tear your fingers apart and you're going to injure yourself. I always recommend at least a ½ inch away. Any advice on what pitches? And then I would recommend pitches a little further left. So I'd go like a ½ inch left with your middle finger and like a ½ inch right with your ring finger. That'll help you get your palm on the ball more, and then that'll cause your roll to be a little better. I am Darkness, military tournament, Ion Max or IQ Tour. I don't know much about military tournaments. Ion Max is going to be good early. IQ Tour is going to be good for the burn. So it depends how many games you're bowling and all that. Let's see. Johan, purple all the way. Yep. That fits. Currently cheering for my fellow countryman girl from Thailand. She's currently sitting in 9th. Hey, that's awesome. Good luck to her. RJ, Pap is 6 over, 2.5 down. That's a crazy Pap. That's a very crazy Pap. Darkness, my current arsenal is Level, Summit Peak, Summit Ascent, Hyperdrive, Identity, and Absolute Power. I would not get an Ion Max then. You have a Hyperdrive, don't get an Ion Max with it. I'd go IQ AI then. Don, my phase 2 smells great as red velvet. Oh, the phase 2 scent is so good. It's so iconic. It's one of the most iconic scents, I think. D Fishbowl, what do you think about detoxing a ball at home? Don't do it. Do not do it. The risk outweighs the reward. I know there's a lot of DIY ways to do it. However, you really run the risk of bad things happening. Don't put your bowling ball in water. It'll be good for a little bit, but you waterlog that core and it's going to actually kill the cover a little bit too quickly. If you put it in the oven, you could ruin your oven, the ball, or cause really bad things to happen. So I'd recommend a detoxing machine at a pro shop to be safest. I do not like the DIY ways. Not in the slightest. Michelle, thank you. Unfortunately, the phase AI didn't work for me, which is why I end up with the Origin. Hey, same here. I went through the same thing. I went phase AI, man, this thing sucks for me, into an Origin. So that phase AI just was not it. It was not it, Chief. Robert Young, weird question. If you use a symmetrical ball from a lefty and you're a righty, can you flip that ball and make it work like a pin down layout? The ball will be upside down, but it'll be the same. Yeah, no, symmetrical balls, like if you just drill generic pin above bridge, you can throw a righty or a lefty. The CG does not matter much on a symmetrical ball. It matters very, very little nowadays. So You can drill it just pin above bridge and you're fine. Jaybird, how do you determine what type of layout, strength, weakness on a bowling ball? One of the hardest things to do. Layout, strength, weakness. I will be having a video coming out sooner rather than later. I need to get some time in our pro shop to actually showcase, like, I want to make an ultimate guide for all layouts, for all 3 types of layouts you can do, VLS, dual angle, and 2LS, because it's very, very complex. It seems very complex until you get the hang of it or you have a chart, then it's much simpler. So it's very hard to tell. It took me a long time to get to know all 3 of them, but I think now we kind of have it down. So I'll have a video sooner rather than later on it. Johan, motive villain. I actually have a villain behind me that Theo Johnson gave me from Real Experience Bowling. So I need to get some videos of that thing. It's been sitting on my shelf since I got back, which is not great. Let's see. Let's do a little quick shameless plug. Remember, we are live on 3 different platforms, on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Make sure to drop a follow on some of our other platforms. If you haven't, we have different content going out on every single one. Otherwise, we do have a Discord if you want to go talk to other bowlers. We have a very awesome and fun Discord. Is honestly much cooler than I ever thought Discord would be. I was never a big Discord fan, but after creating this community and having over 500 bowlers in it, it is super, super fun. Links for those are in our descriptions. Otherwise, we do have a very tiny amount of green and blue ZVL Bowling chamois left on DH Lab Bowling. So if you still want a ZVL Bowling chamois, these are a double leather layer, by the way, so they are really, really good quality. Make sure to go check those out on DH Lab. When we sell out of those, we have a new colorway, which is in the works. So that's gonna be coming very, very soon. Otherwise, we do have some merch if you want. If you want to rep some ZVL, we have t-shirts and hoodies and crew necks. I'm wearing the crew neck right now. Super, super soft. The t-shirts and hoodies are also awesome. I wear the hoodie way too much already. Those are all on Bowler Store, bowlerstore.com. Fantastic company, amazing people that work there. They've only been great to work with so far. They've been awesome. The Davidson, so Michael Davidson, PBA Pro, who broke the PBA scoring record for a while. It's actually his family. So amazing, amazing company. We have a lot of merch through them. Go check out their website or go check out the TikTok shop because you can also buy their stuff on the TikTok shop. But enough of the shameless plugs. Let us keep going on a couple more comments. Where are we at? Topic of the day, by the way, was, are the new bowling balls worth it? Are they worth the price tags that they're set at? I don't think these new ones are worth it. I'd recommend waiting a little bit longer. Let the Bowl Expo bowling balls get announced before you pick up a ball for League. I'd recommend grabbing one in like July and August and not buying one of the new ones quite yet. A lot of the new ones look good, but the price points are very high, and that's the one issue with them. They're just, some of them are a little pricey. Super Clutch looks cool. $175 is a lot for that price point. It's a Typhoon's right there, High Road 40's right there. That's about $20 to $40 cheaper. But let's keep going. Brooks, my Equinox has to be the best smelling ball. Oh, blueberry crumble is so good. So good. I love the scent of that thing. Don, nothing hits like a hammer. I that's one of my favorite things to say when I throw my effect tour. I don't know why. Not even in a mocking way. That ball's really good. I love that piece. I'll always have an effect tour in my bag for a while. Steve, August military. Yeah, I don't know what the military tournaments are in all honesty. Steve, man, my lips are really chapped right now. Holy cow. I'm sorry for that. Sorry you have to look at that. I don't think I have any stuff nearby either. I can go grab some in a minute, but apologies. Yeah, I don't know much about the military tournament. So what do you mean by August? Like what do they do? What's the format? What do they put out? Things like that. Jim Ward just ordered the XL on sale. Hey, there you go. Also, Outlaw Bandit, thank you for joining the team. Thank you for the heart me. Really appreciate it. And thank you for all the gifts. Holy cow. Holy cow. That's a lot of things coming in from Outlaw. He is still going. Holy, friendship, finger hearts, friendship necklace, journey pass. Hey there. Holy cow. He is just dropping coins. That is so many. Oh, wow. Outlaw with all the TikTok gifts. Thank you so much. Holy cow. Oh, I didn't even get any animations. Oh, man. I was hoping for all the animations. Double 3M as a two-handed righty. Effect Tour or Venom Shock for a benchmark? Venom Shock. Definitely Venom Shock. Effect Tour might be a little too strong for you. SN. Oh, there we go. Outlaw with the, with the hat and mustache. I love when that pops up. SN, are the latest storm balls worth purchasing? They're good. Ion 40. High Road 40 looks really, really good. I'd recommend the High Road 40 if you want skid snap. If you want a ball to hook super late, be really clean, and be angular, High Road 40 is a really good play. Ion Pro Solid looks good. It looks like a good league bowling ball, house shot bowling ball, but it's really pricey. It's $200. For that price point, you're getting the top of the top ASIM solid ball. And I would recommend something cheaper in that slot right now. The IQ Tour is like $35, $40 cheaper. What else is in around that? Venom Shock is like $60 cheaper, $65 cheaper. Same, very similar, not similar ball reaction, but similar part of the bag. So something to keep in mind. Let's see. Don, getting your ball detox at the pro shop is safe and inexpensive. Very, very true. Very true. And Gabriel, thank you for the roses on TikTok. Johan, the Lucky Larson ball smelled amazing. Fruity blueberry. Oh, that'd be amazing. Didn't drill it because I made a $150 profit off of it. Hey, good call. The bowling ball buying selling market is crazy. Gandhi, what's your wish for the future of bowling? I really want you guys to check out my video tomorrow. This sounds so shameless pluggy, but about the World Bowling League. My wish for bowling, and I'd love to help in any way possible. If anybody has connections to the World Bowling League, let me know. I tried emailing them to try to help out, and unfortunately their email isn't an actual email. If that gets off the ground, I think that could be the biggest thing to happen in bowling, arguably ever. I think it is the best way forward as bowlers to actually, man, my lips are so chapped. Why? I think it is the best way forward as bowlers to actually grow the sport. I think World Bowling League could really be that thing. So I would love to see that do well. I can feel my lip being chapped. Why, bro? Ugh. Grumpa, what's going on, Grumpa? Sorry for being late. Oh, don't worry. The Hazmat Pearl is a blast to play with. That Hazmat Pearl looks good. The Hazmat Pearl is really good. I love seeing that. Bowling Milk, I don't think my pro shop has a detox. Another alley nearby might have one. Yeah, I'd recommend checking that out. I think every pro shop should have one. They're not cheap machines, but they last forever. Absolutely forever. And they are worth it. Strike Zone Pro Shop, what's going on? Balls are so expensive. True. My currently running a pro shop in Malaysia, and the ball coming is very high price. Yeah, that is the tough piece. They are the sport inflation has hit the sport pretty hard. Inflation kind of stayed away from bowling for a while, but now it's hitting it pretty hard. Let's see. Darkness, 41 feet, 32 mils. Okay. Yeah, I think your RST hyperdrive should be good for that. Double 3M or double M as a two-handed righty. Should I use an effect tour? Okay, we hit that one. Johan, Theo is sick at guitar. Theo's, yeah, very good at guitar. Joe, XL Phase 2 Phase AI. What's next weaker? Typhoon. Typhoon, definitely. Or High Road 40. One or the other. Smitty, guys, I can confirm the chamois is very good. Hey, there you go. There's only a couple left of the blue and green, by the way. I really like this colorway, too. I thought it turned out real good. Let's see. Where are we at? Kenneth Go, Ion Max, Sublime Focus, Origin, Phase 2, Rockstar, Equinox Identity, Ion Pro, Optimal Pearl, Phase AI, Exponent Pearl, Duo. Which ones to get rid of? Need to lessen. Well, Sublime Focus and Phase 2 and Rockstar are all close. I think you only need one of those. And then Optimum Idol Pearl and Phase AI are close. And Duo. I'd get rid of the Duo. Duo isn't the best ball in the world. I know Don really likes his Duo, but yeah, it was kind of more disliked than liked. So I'd check that out. Billy, is my PAP normal for a two-handed righty? 6 1/8 over, half down. 6 1/8 over is a very far away PAP. So it usually around between 4 and 5.5 is normal. So it's a little off. Might just be you're very up the back of the ball. You're probably rolling over the fingers with that kind of PAP. So yeah, it's not bad by any means. It just means your layouts will be a little wonky. There really is no good or bad PAP. Like there's no PAP that's better than another. Murray Williams, Magic Gem with an Attention Star and Original Zen for League. Power Edge on the Magic Gem, still hard to control. Is an EX viable? EX will be weaker and smoother. So yes, that could be a really good option. That could be a fantastic option. GDCD, bowling in the Olympics. Does any brand or org lobby for inclusion? Yes, they did. USBC and almost all of bowling push for it to be added in 2020, I believe. I think it was Tokyo Games is when they really wanted it. And the reasons that it wasn't were the youth population in bowling is not high enough. And it is not standardized worldwide, I believe was the other, because the Worldwide Bowling Federation is not good right now. So that was it. Those were the reasons that it got kicked. Now, the other thing to remember is in the Olympics, it's really dumb. The main country, the hosting country, gets to choose which sports make it out of a group. So you're always going to see like the sports that the country can win in the Olympics. For example, flag football is going to be at LA in 2028. Why? Because the US has all the American football players in the world, basically. So it's going to be a free gold medal for the US. You just put Tyreek Hill out there and you're good to go. So kind of, I don't know. It's very based on the sport. That's why France had breakdancing, because they were going to be good at it. Now, I don't think they won, but that's usually what sports do. That's why Tokyo added baseball back, because Japan is really good at baseball. So they knew they'd be able to take a medal out of it. So I wish that'd be awesome, but I don't know if we'll see that anytime soon. Jaybird, what's the temperature for the EJ ball? I'm struggling so much with it. I would recommend polishing it. It's a very strong ball, so try polish. Grumpa, the Effect Tour is awesome. My favorite. The Effect Tour is so good. Such a good piece. Such a good piece. Jordan B, can pro shops measure surface? Unfortunately, no. You kind of have to guess. There are surface detectors, but they're like, I think they're $350 right now. $450. They're pricey. They're very pricey. So you can usually guess though what they are. Gemini, I want a 7-ball raffle. Whoa. Help me make an arsenal with it. Holy cow. That's a lot of balls. I would go Origin EX. What else you have? Origin EX. Those are a lot of balls that are similar, honestly. The Hustle Glow, the Crown Victory, the Ultimate Wrecker are all kind of close. The Origin EX and the GB5 are kind of close. The Hustle Earth is different. So you could go Hustle Earth for sure. GB5 or the Origin, and then Wrecker, Glow, or Victory, I'd say would be the best ones. Jaybird, why is it that balls in the strong category don't match up with no thumb bowlers? They just hook too early. That's the main problem. You need weaker stuff. Like no thumb bowlers usually are rev dominant, just like two-handers are usually rev dominant. So then you need weaker equipment is usually why. Bowling Brian, would you recommend the High Road 40 and 14? I would. I think the High Road 40 is going to be good at 14. I think it's going to be good at all three. The High Road always was. It's just very different between 15 and 16. 14 is a lot weaker, but that should be okay. It just makes it a weaker ball at the end of the day. Sergeant Bubbly, do you think Jackal's lines shine up fast? The Jackal Onyx doesn't. The Jackal Ghost does. So it depends which one you have. Thoughts on the Tropical Surge series for two-handers? I think it's a good starting spot. I don't think it's good for like later on, but I think it's a good starting spot if you're a new bowler. Matchadog, XL or EX? I like the XL. It's more angular than the EX. So it depends what you're looking for. If you want to play straighter, go Origin. If you don't, XL. Justin, how do I know when to get my bowling ball deep clean? If you're noticing that there's a lot of oil that stays on the cover stock, even after you wipe it off, hopefully with a ZVL bowling chamois, that's when you need to go for the detox. That's the best time to. Let's see. Johnny, what's up? Kaya, what is the World Bowling League? Yeah. Big Mike, World Bowling League is like the XFL of bowling. I would actually disagree. I see it, a better comparison is like the Live Golf of bowling. So World Bowling League wants to be the worldwide, like standardized way of ranking bowling and having bowling competitions. So they really want it to be like tennis. Tennis, chess, a lot of those have like a standardized list of like, here are our top 500 players, and here are the points they get and how they get those points. So an amateur can make their way up in all those sports. Bowling doesn't really have that. Who is the best bowler in the world? It's all opinion. It's kind of, I mean, it's kind of like basketball where like, who's the best? There's a lot of opinion in it. Where chess, you know, it's Magnus. Magnus is the best chess player. He's number one. Or, like every year for golf, you know who's number one based on points for worldwide. Bowling doesn't have that. So they're kind of trying to make that a thing to work for. They also want to create more bowling in the modern day. They say bowling hasn't changed in 50, 60, 70 years, which it hasn't really. Like a lot of it has stayed the same. New bowling balls, new oil conditions, but a lot of it has stayed the same. And they want to modernize a little more. They want to add in some unique events that they do to try to bring in more new people to bowling. They really want to revolutionize a lot of the ways bowling works and not like take it over per se, just like have a different way to try to bring new people into the sport. There's been a lot of investment in it from Mookie Betts and then an Indian cricket player. And they are starting in Q1 of 2026. I'm honestly really excited for it. I think that could be a really good change of pace for the bowling world and a good way to bring in new bowlers. Because that's something that we struggle with in bowling is we don't bring in enough new people. Like there's a lot of people that stay in bowling that start it and then stay there. Like the retention is really, really good. But we need to get new people into bowling. And how do you do that? More entertaining ways. So I think that could be really, really cool. I'm really excited for it. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully it actually keeps up. All right. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, it is 8:07 already. Yeesh. I have so many comments. All right, we're gonna fly through a couple comments quick. GDCD, bowling in the Olympics. Does any brand? We hit that one. Yofo, doesn't the detox at a shop use water and cleaner for the solution? No. A detox is heat. A detox uses heat. Johan, hashtag get motivated. Hashtag get hydrated. Hashtag drink water, Zach. Never drinking my ghost. Kenneth Go, burn ball, Typhoon, ultimate record. Typhoon. Definitely Typhoon is one of the better burn balls right now. Gandhi, do you think bowling commentary could be improved? Yes, 100%. I think they do a good job for bowlers. I think they do a really bad job with new bowlers. I think we need the one hard thing. I see it a lot. I'm a software developer. I see it a lot with computer science fields or IT. IT people are so good at getting super, super deep into a topic. Like if you want an expert to talk about their expertise in something, they're going to be really good at it, but they're going to be really good when talking to people who are also experts in that topic. So computer science people are terrible at being really good at something and explaining it in a really high level to people, explaining it in a really basic fashion. Bowlers are the same way. Bowling commentary is the same way. Bowling commentary should also talk about their arsenal. Yes, talk about the bowling balls, for God's sakes. That's the coolest part of the sport. But I think we don't do a good enough job at actually talking, like being there in a basic way. Like when you have somebody say, "Oh, we left a ringing 10 pin there. He was just so close. He's got to do a 2-in-1, or he's got to be more up the back of the ball." Like you're someone who doesn't know much about bowling. You have your first ball. You're like, what in the holy hell did that man just say? What is more up the back of the ball or roll the ball more? Isn't everyone rolling the ball? So there's so many things that they get a little too deep into that newer people don't really understand. It makes it impossible. Like over detailing the sport is what causes people to not want to listen to it or watch it. So I think there is some improvement there. All right. Let's keep going though. I just said we have so many comments and then I just pause. I take a long time on one, but let's keep going. Benjamin, phase 2, Vibo, Typhoon. What should I add? Phase 2, Vibo, Typhoon. Go with like a week solid. IQ Tour or Hustle Earth could be good. Ken Redmond. Ken, just hanging at Robert Smith's shop. Hey, love to hear that. Don, I fall in love and out of love with my duo. That's what a lot of people did. That was like a love or hate ball. Bowling with Brooks. Make a little promo video of your logo and bowling style silhouette. Your silhouette has to be damn near like the NBA silhouette, the Jerry West of bowling. I forgot about that, Brooks. I was going to message you, but I had no way to do that. That thing was awesome. I saw it. For anyone who's on YouTube, click on Bowling with Brooks profile after this, and he made a super cool little promo of with my silhouette, which was perfect. I don't know how you did that, what you used on it, but it's awesome. And then with the logo, it looks so cool. So cool. Huge thank you for that. That was so awesome to see. Darkness for the military championship tournament, 41 feet, volume is 33 mils. What balls would you recommend? Hyperdrive. You're going to need some smoother stuff, smoother equipment, because there's a lot of oil. Charmaine, what will happen if I put surface on my phase 2? It'll just be a little more dull. That's all. A little smoother, little earlier. Ronald, absolute pearl, absolute and absolute power. There we go. Reading is hard for Zach today. Pitch black, Equinox, Ascent, DNA, gear, Zen from strong to weak. What do you suggest? Oh boy. You don't have a weaker shiny ball. Typhoon, Road Warrior, High Road 40, something like that. Larry Tripp, what would your best choice be for the best dry lane or burn ball and the best hybrid? Best dry lane ball, I like the Typhoon a lot right now. Best hybrid on the market, I don't really think about like best hybrid. That's the hard part. Like you could go with like a Pure Envy for a really good hybrid, or you could go like an Ultimate Wrecker. Like they're radically different balls. So I don't really know if there's a best. Randy H, medium speed and rev lefty, hypnotize and stealth solid. What's a good step down? Scorpion Strike is a really good step down. Otherwise, Ivory Rhino is a big step down. Yeah, Darkness, you're going to want to start with that hyperdrive. Billy M recently picked up the Storm Road for $100. Nice, that's awesome. Kaya, I think that would be cool. Is there anywhere to follow the progress? I haven't found many places. There was a Routers article that came out that showcased their start in Q1. Johnny, should I carry polish just in case I need it? I would not. I'd let your pro shop do that. I'd let your pro shop polish them. I'd always recommend Power Edge, though. Sergeant Bubbly on TikTok. I'm a two-hander with the EJ Jackal, Tour AI, Dark Side, and a Black Hammer. Looking for a new ball. I'd go a stronger solid ball. Phase 2, Rockstar, Hammerhead, Venom Shock, something around there. Hog Rider, I use my Ion Pro 80% of the time and get made fun of for it. When should I use others in my arsenal? I mean, if the Ion Pro is working really well, keep using it. Keep using it. That's fine. If it works, don't stop it. But if it's not working, I'd recommend when you're leaving too many corner pins. That's what the Ion Pro is really good at, is leaving 10 pins and 7 pins. When that's happening, then you want to switch. David Jones, we need a good sitcom with bowling centers as a setting. The Tom Smallwood one was a really good option for that, and then the series sucked. They did such a poor job with that. They just kind of made fun of bowling in the stereotypical way, like throw in a good right up your alley joke, or have him have like a glove and just throw it straight. Like that doesn't do bowling any good. It actually hurts. That's why it got kicked. Bowlers hated it, and then other people didn't find it funny. Johan, I think Sydney was a really good commentator for the PWBA, but I get it from a non-bowler view. Yeah, Sid gets pretty deep in a few ways. She is really good. She is fantastic at it. That's why they keep her around. I think the PWBA does a good job. I think PBA needs to work on it though. Sid is awesome though. She's really good at it, and she's fantastic bowler too. So it's a win-win. She's great. She's fun to follow on Instagram too. Seeing a lot of those stories. Justin, which category do you place the track archetype? Strong smooth. Definitely strong smooth. Kaya, speaking of bowling commentary, I like Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Coach Randy is good about calling the game, but also explaining it. I don't know who that is. Prodigy Bowler Tour. Have I watched them? I don't know if I've watched them before. I'm going to have to check it out. I have to check them out. Grumpa, word of the day is posting your shot. All I can figure is standing as a statue for a photo op. Hey, that's a good one I should write down, actually. Let me find my sticky notes. To the sticky note board. I have like 4 sticky notes right now of things that I need to do or make videos on, and I have not. My first one is the myth of cranker, tweener, and stroker. I think those terms are garbage. What was it? Posting your shot. There it is. Posting your shot. Got it. Okay. Let's see. Let's keep going. Kenneth Go, Typhoon or High Road 40? They're going to be really close. Typhoon's going to be smoother and a little bit later. The High Road 40 is going to be a lot sharper down lane. Talon, Rockstar. Rockstar's good. Slimy Guy. I want a Sublime Focus in a real time, but I'm going to wait until they get discontinued. Real time is going to be close. I could see the real time getting discontinued in the next, like, 4 months. I'd say 4 months. Grumpa. I second that. Power Edge is incredible. Absolutely. It's probably the best one right now. Talon, need Chris Barnes on commentary. Smartest mind in bowling. Yeah, he is. And he's good at explaining it. That's why I love his and Stu Williams' podcast so much, is Chris is so good at explaining just how it is in a basic way, but also advanced way that everyone understands. He's very good at being able to talk to all kinds of crowds, where a lot of bowlers are really good at talking to advanced, but not beginner. So I think that's a really good quality of his. Johnny, what do you think would be a good replacement for the Vibo? There really isn't much right now. Equinox is probably your closest bet, but it's not close. Vaporize from Brunswick is honestly my favorite comparison. Gabriel, did I get your messages in Discord? I did not. Oh, there it is. If I get a GB5 Pearl, should I drill it pin up? This is the layout of my GB4. I don't like the reaction. Are you a righty, Gabriel? If you're either way, yes. Pin above. Yeah, don't go. I don't like that layout at all on that guy. Yeah, if you really like pin up, go with pin up. Absolutely. I don't like the layout you have on that GB4 Pearl. I think it's probably a little too smooth. How We Roll was an okay show, but as far as bowling, you never actually see a ball. Yeah, they weren't going to do that. They wanted to use bowling as like a click gimmick. They like the story of Tom Smallwood, and it is a good story. George Smith, Sport Shot recommendation. Mesmerize, Widow 3.0, Phase AI, Arctic Vibe. I would go a weaker solid ball. Go with like a Hammerhead. It looks like you like Brunswick a lot, so Hammerhead could be a good play. And Talon, how are you? How's life been since Baton Rouge? It's been good. It's been busy. A lot going on. We went to Michigan right after that. We've had a ton of videos to make. It's been busy but good. Sofer, husband bowl team at Baton Rouge today. Nice. How'd that go? Gabriel, one more thing. What's a good replacement for my HX10? What the hell is an HX10? Sorry, but I don't know what that is. HX10 bowling ball. Oh, it's track. I've never seen that ball in my life. It is DR6 high. Oh, DR6. We're on like aren't we on DR14 right now? 250049 hybrid. Stealth hybrid would have been the play. Ethos solid, Ethos hybrid. No doubt solid. Hammerhead, things like that. Gandhi, thank you for your valuable time. I think you will be first making videos on World Bowling League. I will be, actually. I was kind of surprised at that. A little disappointed in the bowling community for no one else picking it up before me, because I'm honestly late to the party on World Bowling League. They first got announced last year, and no one has talked about it. So, glad to be the first. Ronald, waiting High Road 40 release in order. Nice. Johnny, keep it coming. Love all the info for sure. DeJoe, best bowling documentary, Kingpin or Big Lebowski? Neither. We need a true documentary. But otherwise, Kingpin is a little better bowling sense. Big Lebowski's awesome, but Don, I think they should talk about the balls more, at least say what the pros are throwing. They need to say what they're throwing. They do. They need to at least talk about them. The problem is the guys on the desk don't know what the stuff is. Like, it's very hard to keep track of over 100 bowling balls. There's currently, I think it's 109 is the current number of bowling balls on the market. I have a check of it, final. We have 106 bowling balls on the market today. That's not counting plastic balls. 106 total bowling balls, and not many people know enough about all of them to talk about them. So that's the big issue. And one of the guys is a Storm staffer, so he can't really say much about, like, man, that ball's really good. He can make fun of the names like he did with the Evoke Hysteria, but he's not going to say much else. Let's see. David Jones, if I wanted to make my team a custom chamois, are there any good places to get that done? Yes, actually, DH Lab is fantastic at that. That is, like, not even because they just make my chamois, but they do have some really good custom options that are cheaper than you'd ever expect. And they make them pretty quickly, honestly. So I'd recommend checking out DH Lab. They have their email on the website. dhlab3d.com, I believe, is their official URL. All right, we are going to call this is going to be last call for questions. Last call for questions right now. So any others, make sure to throw them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll be calling it in about 3 to 5 minutes. We'll be calling it a stream. So Johnny Nads, love the name. Yes, that's what I thought. Have not seen anything really like it. Hog Rider, average around 190 on sport, 210 on house, and going to junior gold. I think it'll be good. Make sure to get your spares, and you'll be good to go. Sofer, first experience typically house shot only. Oh, but he's happy though. That's good. That's a big shift going from house shot to nationals. Big shift. Lorensk Dreamer is a sleeper bowling movie. I've never heard of that one. Dono, 106 bowling balls, but only like 8 different ones getting thrown on tour. That's the big issue too. It's all you see on tour are the 2 main urethanes, whatever EJ's throwing and all the motive stuff, and then a handful of the other equipment. So you don't see an insane amount. That's why I don't like urethane being on tour. It's really bad for the ball companies because people then think I need to buy a urethane, but house shot bowlers really don't need urethane. I actually have a video on that coming out soon. Talon, phase 2 or hammerhead. I always recommend the phase 2, but you can't go wrong with either. Really personal preference. They're going to be very close. Talent, so many bowling balls, and one is on staff, so can't talk much about him in the first place. I think a lot of the good commentators would be on staff with someone. That's a hard thing with bowling. Everybody's on staff. Everybody and their mother is on a staff. That's why I think if I look at if you look at all the top bowling YouTubers, I am the top one in subscriber count and views and all that. That does not get equipment sent to them by any company. By a good amount, actually. So everybody is on staff or gets offered a contract when they do any kind of professional or influencer route. That's just how the bowling sphere kind of operates. Every company tries to snag whoever they can for good reason. They need to sell bowling balls, and that's a great way too. Ken, I feel like I missed so many lies. Oh, don't worry about it, Ken. It's all good. It's overwhelming looking at buying a new ball. It is. And that's why we do these. Because there's so many options. And I get why there's so many options, but it gets tough. So our goal is to help you pick specifically which couple bowling balls you should look for. Wolf, what's a good strong and sharp ball for a house shot? My favorite is still the Attention Star. Some other options are like the Storm Equinox. The Motive Evoke Hysteria is good. Otherwise, yeah, those are probably the top dogs. Those are going to be the top dogs right now. Grumpa, I've had a meh-hate relationship with my Pure Envy. 25 by 5 by 25. Was good for a little while, but after detox and several surface changes, I can't get a good read. It might not be a bad idea to get rid of it. It might not be a bad idea to try selling it off to somebody and then use the money to buy something that'll fit a little better. I think that's a good call. MTB, best Storm ball for a house shot? I think the Equinox, honestly. I think Storm was pretty dead on with their marketing for the Equinox. I think that's a good one. Buff Wolf, original Attention Star. Gabriel, I thought a Black Widow Mania or Hater was a good replacement. Yeah, I mean, they could. Yeah, Hater would be closest. Hater would definitely be closer. The HX10 is weaker, and it's also an old bowling ball, so it's going to be even weaker for that. So that's why I was recommending a symmetrical ball instead of a big, strong ASIM, like you were saying. Let's see. So for 196 average in team, wow. That's phenomenal for out there. Like, you should be very happy with that. That's crazy good. Ken, good replacement for Idle Cosmos. Mine cracked. Oh, I'm sorry for that. If you can find the Optimum Idle Pearl, I know it got discontinued, but I think it's still on sale in a lot of places. That is going to be a really good option for you. That's probably going to be the closest thing to that. Otherwise, Zen 25 is going to be next for that. Let's see. Dawn, then they need to hire me. Hey, my business email is there. It'd be fun. I mean, because of what I do here and just my weird brain, I do pretty much know a little bit about every ball that's come out in the last couple years. Like, I mean, I'm nerdy enough where I have a full spreadsheet of all 106 and what they do and their core numbers and the cover and all that jazz. And I need to put a dumpster fire next to the Torpedo Direct Hit. Hey, Will, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Ken, thanks. Always giving a great advice. Oh, thank you, Ken. Appreciate it. All right, and then final comment of the day is going to be from David. DR6 is the cover stock used on the Blue Fire. Oh, I did not know. Oh, the DRs stay there. Okay, okay. Tundra Red is DR5. Track top end balls are QR. That's what I was thinking, the QR. Okay, and Cypher is MR. Oh, huh. Nice. Okay, maybe it isn't as old as I thought. Now that ball is still super old. That ball is really old. HX10. Will, you bowling Saturday? I don't know yet. I'm trying to fix a few things like footwork wise, and that's causing, of course, like down lane stuff to be absolutely terrible. So I think it really depends on how my Friday practice sesh goes. I'm hoping to get a couple hours of practice in. As long as the bowling alley isn't full, I have no idea. They better not be in a random Friday in the middle of June. But it's really going to depend on how that goes. Okay, last couple. Jaybird, what if each brand put up a staff member to represent them as a commentator? I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Depends who they have. I mean, there's fantastic speakers in every company, so that'd be a cool one. And Booty Snatcher. Your guys' usernames today are top tier. Well done. Good job. What is that picture? Is that a peach with a burglar? I love it. Would a stealth mode solid be a good replacement to a phase 2? It's going to be earlier and smoother. GB5 might be a little closer, but yes, it's going to be same part of the bag, same spot. Keep snatching booties, my dude. And they need someone with unbiased opinions, and that always helps. That always helps. Absolutely. But with that, I'm realizing this is now our longest live we've had. We've been well over 100 viewers on YouTube all night. I want to thank everybody over on YouTube, Twitch. We've had a lot of viewers over there all night. TikTok, we've been flying on viewers. So I want to give a huge thank you to everybody out there who's been watching these live streams every Wednesday that we've had them, and especially tonight. It means an absolute ton. Grumpa, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate that. Thanks for everything. You rock, my friend. Thank you so much, Grump. I really appreciate you being able to hop into all of these. TikTok, we're gonna say goodbye to you first. Make sure to drop a follow if you're new here, so that this isn't the last time you see the channel. If you want some ZVL merch, check out Bowler Store over on TikTok or over on bowlerstore.com. It would mean the world if you check it out at a minimum. Otherwise, TikTok, I will see you guys later. Ooh, they changed the TikTok end live stream. That was cheeky, TikTok. That was real cheeky. All right, but otherwise, YouTube, Twitch, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Really appreciate it. David, thank you so much for the kind words. Big Mike, thank you for the kind words. Really appreciate all of you guys. You guys are, I love doing these every week. I look forward to Wednesdays every single week. I have a lot of really cool content coming in the next couple of days. So make sure to drop a subscription if you haven't. Otherwise, I will see you guys all next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will see you all later. Bye-bye.